Blog Talk Radio.
All right, we're live here, Restoring the Republic. Supposed to be Donnie C's show, so hopefully he's on the line here, wherever he is. Hopefully he calls in, but everybody's able to get through it, it appears, as so. But anyway, we were just having an interesting conversation off the air, actually. So
Gibson's one of the lucky ones where it actually works. I'm still wondering about mine. I'm going to have to try to do a test show, something anyway. I don't know. Or I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
What happens.
But anyway, we were having an interesting conversation off the air, though, about checkpoints and whether, the constitutionality of them. And Gunslinger was telling me about how the cops got something now that they can, in a high-speed chase, or they get behind you, they shoot it like a missile and attach it to your car, and then they just back off, and it's like a beacon, a homing device.
It's a homing device. They trace it with GPS, so the cop backs off, and they slow down or go home or wherever they go, and boom, they nail you.
How's that for violation? How was that for?
Well, that might not be so bad. I mean, if you're in a, if you've done something and you're evading them, that's probably a viable solution for not putting the public at danger, because how many times do, people get injured, or, in the process of a high-speed chase and stuff, and so if there's a way around that, then I guess I don't really have very much issue, because you already have probable cause. If you're, if the person's evading the police and not pulling over and stuff like that, and then that's enough probable cause right there to justify, doing a tracker,
Or you do it, or you just rob the bank.
And 314. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Gunslinger. Go ahead.
Or you just rob the bank. They got another system out there they're using in Arizona that's the same, like a patrol SUV can come in behind you if you're starting to run or whatever, and this thing throws out and it attaches to the wheel like a rope, and bam, stops you instantly. Yep, damn right.
Wow.
It stops you right on. I mean, it's like a big, wide, like your strap, like a big strap. Okay, and they get behind you and it fires it at the drive wheel, and it wraps it up, and the cop puts on the brakes and skids you both to fucking stop. That's wow.
Hell, in Arizona, they pit stop motorcycles.
Really? Wow.
They don't play in Arizona. They'll chase you from here to Japan.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Hey, who's 989? We got 989 on here, whoever that is.
It's me, Don.
Donnie has made it.
I made it.
It's your show, Don.
Oh, it's your show. I'm listening.
I hope everybody's got that. Okay, tomorrow night. Yeah, everybody's made it so far. Well, the usuals are pretty much here. I mean, there's a couple stragglers that ain't around. I see a couple people on the board, but who knows who they are.
The show won't play on the computer for me. I can get your switchboard. No, chat room, but I can't get it to play.
Really?
I'm on the phone.
Wow. Well, see, I got some technical difficulties then.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, but we were talking about that, Donnie. This is getting ridiculous with Blog Talk Radio. I mean, this is the third time now in 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I ain't never seen so much stuff in such a broad spectrum of categories that's so messed up in all my life.
Yeah, it is messed up.
I mean, what happens if you had a guest, like I was saying, you had a paid guest or something, or something like that? Because sometimes people charge, like publicists and everything. But yeah, somebody famous, What the hell? I think it's very unprofessional.
I'm to the point where it's like I almost, there's that complaint board website. I don't know how effective that is, but I'm to the point where it's like we almost should go and all file complaints to the Better Business Bureau. Because this is bullshit. I haven't even been around that long, but I mean, this past 6 months, ever since last August, That's when the shit started. And then it seems like every other month there's an outage, Started in August, and then it's been consistently unreliable ever since.
Yeah, I never seen it do this years ago, 5-6 years ago. I never seen it really shut down like this.
Never has.
Yeah.
I never had any problem.
I don't know what's up with that. George Soros took over Blog Talk Radio. He's probably trying to shut it down.
Well, now, if he took it over, I understand why we can't get on.
Yeah,
I can understand.
Yeah, George Soros is trying to buy out. He did that on purpose. He's becoming the largest stakeholder for Odyssey, which that's a parent company of iHeart, which iHeart is a parent company of BTR and Spreaker and stuff like that. And all of these platforms are what a lot of conservatives use, for their podcasts and things like that. And
right.
so, yeah, Soros wants to, get his financial influence on it. And it's just sort of interesting that, these kinds of things are happening. And I think a while ago, I remember telling you guys about how I did a little digging. And originally, back, I think it was 2011 or something like that, iHeartRadio, Mitt Romney's Bain Capital was one of the investors in it, one of the two partners. Yep. And the second partner, I forget the name, that was the business partner in the deal. The owner of that company committed suicide. And right there, I'm going,
He was out of Texas, wasn't he?
I can't remember. I think maybe so, yeah. And so it wasn't that convenient.
Yeah, he's out of San Antonio, I think.
Yeah, he didn't commit suicide, I assure you that.
Yeah, he committed suicide February of last year, I believe it was. February of last year that he committed suicide. And so who knows what the hell happened then.
Well, I want you guys to know right now, I will never commit suicide. So if you ever hear about me that ever happens, it's a lie. All right? Never happened.
Same here. If I ever suddenly disappear and you hear on the news or whatever that I committed suicide or something like that, then you know that it's bullshit.
Yeah. It is. It's they who knows what kind of tricks they play, these people. They are dirty.
Hey, I hear we're over in, I think it's South Carolina, the state legislature has banning books. Parents can't ban books that's sexual explicit that the librarian wants to make available for your kids. What kind of crazy mess is that?
I don't know.
Where's that? South Carolina?
I think it is, Joe.
I remember in the fourth grade you had to have a permission slip to have sex education, which all it was is like a 10-minute movie, and none of us knew what the hell we were seeing. None of us. And now all we have to go to the library and, okay, I got it now. Do you have to be gay to do that?
Oh, my God. That's funny. Well, I mean, sex education wasn't about, how to put a condom on or how to use a dildo. I mean, it was, basic, reproduction. Like, okay, here's the female parts, here's the male parts. The sperm fertilizes the egg, and then, human development and all that. Like, it was, it was factual stuff, not dirty. You know what I mean? But I'm kind of reminded, have you guys ever seen Grease 2? The sequel to Grease, Grease 2 with Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that song, Reproduction.
Yeah.
Baby, give it to me now. That's what this conversation is reminding me of. Hey, Donnie, you should pull that up and play that on your mixer. That's a funny song, though.
What's the name of it?
Yeah.
There goes
it's
your
from Grease 2. The reproduction song on Grease 2.
It's
funny as hell.
I can't get his show to play outside of my phone, so it won't work.
That's weird.
Well, damn it. You know, I'm still looking for donations so that I can get my own mixer as my birthday present next month.
Mixer.
Ron Reck helped me pick one out. Now I just need the money to buy it.
What's a mixer? What's a mixer?
Which one you getting?
I never used one of those.
I'll have to pull it. I'll pull it back up. I saved it in my Amazon cart. But a mixer, Joe Gibson, that's what a lot of people use. It brings in all the audio, so that's how you can bring in, like, you know, your YouTube and your Skype and your phone and different microphones. Like if you have people in the room, you can connect different microphones. All that. So it integrates all the audio from various sources into one, and that's how people do it with other platforms where they don't have a direct call-in like Blog Talk does. Then people can use their Skype. That's how Ron Reck does his show, because he has a good mixer and he can play his clips and he can have people call into his Skype number and all that good stuff.
Interesting. Well, I didn't know anything about that, but anyway, I forgot what I was going to say now. Something about they had some protests down there in downtown Greensboro last night, shutting down traffic. People protesting over virtual learning. They want how they used to let the kids stay home, during COVID, and they used to learn over the internet. Well, parents still want their kids to stay home. They don't want to send them back to school, so they're protesting that. I mean, what the hell, man?
That's crazy. I don't know what's going on with these young people.
They are trying to promote a race war, though. I'm telling you that right now, man. That's all you see on Twitter now, and is blacks beating up whites, and people are feeding into it. You see that? That's 50,000 likes there, white boy. You see that? That's 50,000 likes. Just egging it on. I mean, there's a lot of these shabakas out there, I guess, now.
Yeah. Crazy.
And there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. You got to be real careful.
Yeah.
Well, hell, out there in Oakland, they got pirates, man, going on the marinas and breaking into these people.
If you look at that YouTube, if you look at that YouTube video, it shows that tracking device that the cops shoot, out of the front of their vehicle and onto a fleeing vehicle. There's a 47 seconds or something. So just a little bitty thing. And it just fires from a little tube from the grill, and it sticks on the back of the vehicle. And they track it. They back off. They back off, and you go home or wherever you go. 30 minutes later, you got 50 fucking cops breaking down your door.
SWAT team, yeah.
Yankee, you were telling me about those pirate things. Tell me more.
Some people sleep in the marina, sleep in their houseboats in the marina. And you got these idiots going up and down the boardwalk, jumping on these boats, commandeering them, and taking off with them, throwing the damn owners on the damn shore.
No shit. Wow.
And California, and hardly nobody got any guns anymore.
No, not. Hell, and if they do, they're only limited to 10 rounds in their mags. 10 rounds. Sheesh.
Yeah. Okay.
In St. Louis, they got on one of those Metrolink buses, light rail. Hell, they robbed the damn passengers on the train.
Wow. Yeah, crime is out of control.
It's out of control. It's going through the fucking roof, let me tell you. I mean, can you imagine only you're limited to 10 rounds? I got 17 rounds in my Sig Sauer, and I got 221 rounds on my belt for backup. So that gives me 60 freaking rounds with one hot in the chamber. You know, animals attack in packs, 2-legged or 4-legged. You know.
Yeah. Very true. Yep. And when they're moving, you know.
Yeah.
When they're moving around, you're not going to hit every single target when they're moving around, you know. So yeah, I think these limits are just absolutely stupid and insane.
I guess I got to surrender my pistol permit. I guess I'm a convicted felon again. So I don't know. I haven't even looked into that yet. Yeah. I mean, I got a pistol permit, everything. I mean, just, you know, I mean, I don't know what's, I don't understand now. Now, all of a sudden, this Board of Elections can call me a convicted felon? Now, all of a sudden, I'm a convicted felon again? I mean, you know, what do I do? What do I do? I mean,
yeah,
if they put that crap back on my record.
You know, there you go. Like, if you were issued a pistol permit, you know, you're able to get that and you're a convicted felon, then that right there, and I'm sure you had to get a background check done, you know, before you could get that permit. And so, you know, and if you're issued one and you're a convicted felon and you're not supposed to be issued it, then right there makes you wonder, like, well, then why the fuck are we having these background checks then? You know what I mean? Like, they're obviously not effective. They're just more money. Because how much are you paying for the background check? $15, $20, whatever, you know?
Yeah, you're right. About the money. You see, even in that hearing where I said, I waited 10 years before I registered, just to be sure, to make sure my record when I moved to North Carolina, just to be on the safe side, even though I know what the U.S. attorney told me in Connecticut, you know. So, you know, it's crazy, man. And you heard, I don't know if you guys listened to it or not, the video, but when I was arguing with him, I flat out told him the law is the law, you know. It doesn't matter what this and that, you know. I mean, these people, you know, I think I came off as a wise ass, though, because the guy at the end, he's like, thank you, you know. So, but they're Six Stooges. That's what I want to call them, you know. That's what I like calling them, you know. You can't tell me.
Well, you know, that lady, I haven't watched the whole thing. I got the link, but I have it open to watch later. I started to, but isn't that Annie Dance? Isn't she the one that, like, interviewed you and tried to be, like, you know, impartial, you know, like give you a fair chance? Yeah, I recognized the name.
Yeah, well, you got a good memory because I didn't. But she at the end she interviews me and she puts that interview, she posts it, and she lets it go word for word. She lets me do most of the talking actually. So she gave me a fair. That's what reporters are supposed to do. Report fair and accurate, you know.
Yeah, unlike all these other ones that, you know, have 5 people come on that talk for 30 seconds each against you, and then they, you know, and then they show like a 10-second clip of you, you know, and like, oh yeah, that's fair and balanced.
That's not right. That's mainstream corporate media, and that's what they do. Fake news. Dangerous. It's just dangerous what they do. You know, it really is. I mean, they can destroy a person's career, their life. They're, you know, everything about them, you know. I mean,
they can destroy everything. They can destroy everything if at the snap of their fingers.
Yeah,
boom.
Look what they're doing to Trump.
Yeah, look what they're doing to Trump. Yeah, over the past 4 years, they've destroyed him. Of course, you know he's pretty fucking tough cookie. There's no doubt about that. But the way they've come after him, after wave after wave, you would think they would get tired after a while. Obviously not.
No. Well, you know, he was president.
They're a bulldog, and once they get their teeth sunk in, they will not let go. You know, they don't get tired of it.
He was president. He should have used that power, I know, you know, to go after them like they were doing him. He should have shut them down, and he didn't. He didn't, you know. I mean,
he's trying to be too nice. You know, all those governors that sent National Guard down to Texas, that same state should remove Joe Biden off the ballot.
Yeah, yep. You're right. Fight fire with fire.
Exactly.
You're damn right. Fight fire with fire. Monday, the legislature in Louisiana is going to vote on constitutional carry, and also another bill where if you shoot somebody and you got a concealed carry license, if you know it's self-defense, you're not liable.
Yeah.
And they upping the ante on carjackers too.
Should be no bag limit. Should be no bag limit. You know, carjackers, all this shit. No bag limit.
Yeah.
We need good target practice, you know.
Well, it's a fact that, you know, look, man, common sense, that's all it takes. A little bit of common sense. And that's the solutions we need to apply. You know, I remember I was talking to Tave the other night on my show, and, you know, I was going back and forth with him. I was trying to tell him, you know, let's try to come up with some solutions, you know, and find out solutions, not, you know, hardball direct solutions that were going to scare the people away, but come up with some solutions that we could ease the people into accepting, and then, you know, pull the freaking carpet out from underneath them, I guess, you know. You know, I mean, we got to get this, we got to, you know.
You know, it's so bad today, and it's just only steadily getting worse. I because I carry constitutional carry here in Texas, is what we are now. I carry shooter's insurance. I've never thought I had to have. Yeah, shooter's insurance. It's a Texas Law Shield, or it's part of U.S. Law Shield. You can go look it up. You go Google it. And in case that you're involved in a self-defense situation and you have to shoot somebody, kill somebody, you've got immediate attorney on call. You got a $75,000 bail to take you to jail, and they have their team of attorneys all the way through trial if it goes to trial. As long as you're in the right. I mean, as long as it was, you know, justified self-shooting, you know, self-defense. It's $13 a month.
Wow.
Can you imagine if you got into a situation like that and you didn't have shooter's insurance, quote unquote? My God, they would rape your fucking ass.
Yeah.
They'd get you for
even if you're in the right, they're going to sue you.
Yeah. I carry a little card. I carry a little card in my wallet.
Moving to bunkers.
Yeah. I carry a little card in my wallet right there. It says, in case of emergency, dial this number. And it's a 24-hour on deal attorney.
Yeah, Gun Owners America gives you that insurance too. But it says right here, globalist leaders are moving to bunkers ahead of world collapse. Huh? Let me play that there real quick, see what that's all about. It's a couple minutes long.
World's elite, openly in on the depopulation agenda, are building impenetrable underground fortresses because the one law that can't be broken is the law of the jungle, as old and as true as the sky, and the wolf that shall keep it may prosper, but the wolf that shall break it must die.
And they said to me, as I'm driving down the coast to go where we're snorkeling, because you go by all the big billionaire houses where you go around the mountain there to the Poly Coast, they're like, this billionaire leftist lives there. That's a Google executive right there. My wife works in that person's house right there. And they're all talking 24/7 about when it goes down, what they're going to do. New World Order, you are completely screwed. And you know why they all want to kill you? They know you released the virus. They know you're driving up the prices. They know you hate everybody. They know you treat everybody like crap. They recognize you as the enemy. And it's the same thing all over the world. Everybody hates Klaus Schwab. Everybody hates Bill Gates. Everybody hates Justin Trudeau. Anybody with a brain hates Barack Obama. It's over. Do you understand that I can't walk down the street without people pulling over and telling me they want to kill you?
Yeah, he's right. You know,
well, you find these bunkers. you find their bunkers and pour a gallon of gasoline down in the ventilation vent.
Yeah. Well, I think they got screens that protect them for that. I think they figured that one out, Bianchi, you know. Some sort of, like, you know, diversion or something where, you know, where you can't do that to them. Because obviously you have to have some sort of air purification pipe sticking out of the ground somewhere, I would assume.
Wait a minute, Joe. Wait a minute. Let's just dump a bunch of viruses down the son of a gun.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Turn purple. We were talking about that last night. I was thinking about that this afternoon when I was driving. I said, man, that's crazy shit, man. I remember those street lights, those purple street lights. I used to always say, what the hell, man? I see purple. What, am I going crazy? You know? Goddamn. Boy, it's crazy. I mean, the things they got after, the things that we were battling against and we're standing up against, or the things that we're aware of now that we weren't aware of 30 years ago, just think. I mean, imagine what it's going to be like 30 years from now. What do you think it's going to be? I mean, will we even be here? Will we survive that long? I mean, how could we? I mean, what else has to be accomplished? What else can happen? What other disaster can be created? How many wars can be fought? You know, what can else be done? I mean, we got the weapons now that they've made. Nobody has to go out on the battlefield and fight. They just push a button now and kill you, you know? So what can be done? I mean, we got to start back all over again, I guess. Start crawling out of it like a fish again, flopping up on the sea, evolution, like they say. You know, I don't know.
Well,
So-called
that's what, you say evolution. Well, that's exactly what the globalists want. They've spelled it out. You know, they want the next evolution to be, transhumanism. You know, we're going to all be programmable, half human, half techno. And there will be no place for us regular human beings that aren't technologically enhanced. And so, that's that's what they want. And and they spell it right out. They're not even lying. They're not even hiding it. They want to usher in the next evolution of humanity, which means transhumanism. We will no longer actually be human beings anymore. And just like with everything else, out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, AI, you see some of this AI stuff that they got now? It's scary. Who was telling me that? Tate was telling me. In fact, that night I was talking to him, he was telling me about the AI. It's scary now. You can create your own videos and man, it's insane.
Oh yeah, talk about jobs. I found I've been following this guy on YouTube, and I actually sent this video to my mom and stuff, and I'm like, holy shit, because he's a recruiter, and he was getting into how AI is replacing a lot of normal jobs. Like, that's the future. Not only like with HR jobs, administrative assistant jobs, like tier 1 technical support jobs, customer service jobs, all of these things just on down the line is we're seeing the advent of AI replacing these, normally, and then not even starter jobs. It's going on up. It's going to, we're better at, programming. So, your computer programmers, AI will replace them, replace HR. So it's like there's almost nothing almost hardly any areas you can get into that isn't under threat of being replaced by AI. It's if you're not in a physical job that requires you to physically do it, AI can't shovel shit out in the field. You know what I mean? At least not yet. Until they get robots to do that instead. But yeah, I mean that's the goal. That is the goal. And make it so that AI and robotics replace jobs. That means universal income. That means the ability to control populations. They will decide who lives and who dies, who's useful and who's not. You know, all of it.
Digital immortality. Digital immortality. That's what they want.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yep.
They got this right here.
Like they saw saw the movie The Matrix and said, "Yeah, that's the future we want to go for. You know, we want to do Matrix. Let's make it happen by 2050. You know."
Let me play this right here. It's 10 things that they're not telling you about AI. It's the new AI. Let's see what this is about. It's only 5 minutes long, 6 minutes long. Here.
Informed and aware of the hidden facets that often go unnoticed. In this video, we will share the untold secrets surrounding the new AI, shedding light on 10 critical aspects that have been kept from public view. Let's get started. Number 10, what's being developed is much more advanced than they tell. What if we told you that what we see in the public eye is just the tip of the iceberg? We all know AI has come a long way, but the advancements made behind closed doors will redefine the boundaries of human imagination. You won't believe what's actually cooking. For instance, AI is becoming a machine that can understand and respond to human emotions. Yes, you heard it right. AI's future lies in emotional intelligence, and the progress is nothing short of astonishing. In labs worldwide, scientists are working tirelessly to create AI systems that can empathize, connect, and respond to our emotions in ways that were once the realm of science fiction. If the public knew the true extent of these advancements, would they embrace or fear them? What implications would it have for our society, economy, and sense of identity? Only time will reveal. Number 9, AI models could be used for large-scale disinformation. In today's digital age, information is power, and with the rise of AI, it's become easier than ever to exploit this power for nefarious purposes. With their ability to process vast amounts of data and mimic human behavior, AI models have become powerful tools for those seeking to manipulate public opinion. The consequences are far-reaching. AI-powered disinformation erodes public trust in institutions, fuels social unrest, and can even manipulate election outcomes. It's a silent threat that operates behind the scenes, shaping public opinion and perpetuating chaos while remaining virtually undetectable. Number 8, artificial intelligence will soon replace you. It's no longer just manual labor or repetitive tasks that are being automated. AI's capabilities have expanded dramatically to encompass cognitive functions once thought exclusive to humans. White-collar jobs, traditionally considered safe from automation, are now on the chopping block. For instance, AI programs are being trained to read and write legal contracts, diagnose medical conditions, manage investment portfolios, and even create journalistic reports. So-called creative professions are not exempt either. AI tools can now generate music, produce artworks, and write scripts, tasks that once needed the human touch. The key to navigating this shift lies in understanding and anticipating these changes. By investing in lifelong learning and acquiring skills that complement AI, we can ensure that we stay relevant and employable, even as the AI revolution marches on. Number 7, if you want to survive, you have to learn and adapt. Did you know that by 2025, the global AI market will reach a staggering $390 billion? With sky-high financial stakes, the question arises, how can humanity thrive in the era of AI? The answer lies in the power of acceleration. As each day passes, technological advancements propel us further, driving the pace of progress with an intensity that demands our attention. Artificial intelligence has the power to transform our world like never before. The possibilities are limitless, from healthcare breakthroughs that save lives to energy systems that reduce our carbon footprint. But here's the thing. The most successful people in history were the ones that raced ahead, venturing into uncharted territories, exploring new horizons, and leaving their competitors in the dust. The same holds for AI. We must dare to push the boundaries and sprint ahead of the pack to thrive. Remember, the race is on, and it's time to sprint ahead, because in this race, the victors are the ones who learn and dare to dream big. Number 6, AI will not care for us. We live in a world where machines someday will rule, making decisions that impact our lives, our communities, and even our existence. Over the past decade, AI has become exponentially smarter, mastering complex tasks and outperforming humans in different areas. But amidst this progress, we must confront a sobering truth. AI cannot truly care about us or any form of sentient life. AI operates solely on algorithms, data, and mathematical calculations. AI doesn't experience joy, sorrow, or love. It doesn't care if we're happy or sad, thriving or suffering. It's like an extraordinary, mind-blowing piece of machinery that excels at solving complex problems, but remains indifferent to the very essence of what it means to be human. Can we trust AI to make decisions that align with our values and protect the sanctity of sentient life? Now is the time to think about it. Number 5, many AI experts are issuing dire warnings about its rise. Behind the shimmering facade of AI's achievements, there's lurking darkness that we cannot afford to ignore. You won't believe that 63% of AI experts express concerns about AI's impact on society. Yes, you heard that right. 63% of AI experts express concerns about AI's impact on society. These brilliant minds are at the forefront of AI research and are ringing the alarm bells. So what exactly are they so worried about? Have you ever heard of the AI apocalypse? No, it's not the plot of a summer blockbuster, but a genuine concern voiced by renowned experts. As AI becomes increasingly sophisticated and autonomous, legitimate fears...
Auto insurance all seems the same. And it's time to use it. With USAA, it's AI.
...of losing control exist. Picture a world where machines make decisions that could have catastrophic consequences. It's a chilling thought that keeps AI researchers awake at night. But it doesn't end there. As AI's influence grows, so does the risk of job displacement and automation. AI and automation are estimated to replace over 800 million jobs by 2030. That's nearly 1 in 5 jobs worldwide. Can we trust AI to make fair and ethical choices? The answer may surprise you. Number 4, large model AI systems aren't made of explicit ideas. The true nature of these massive AI systems, like the ones we're using right now, is shrouded in mystery. They are not simply programmed with explicit ideas like you and I. No, they're built on a mind-boggling scale, learning from vast amounts of data and making connections that would make your head spin. These AI systems have been trained on trillions of words, devouring books, articles, and websites to extract patterns, knowledge, and understanding. They've been fed colossal amounts of information, enabling them to generate text, answer questions, and even hold conversations. But the mind-blowing part is that they don't possess explicit knowledge of the world as humans do. Instead, they cleverly mimic our language and cognition, producing outputs that can be eerily human-like. But wait, deepfake technology is taking AI to a whole new level. With astonishing realism, it can create videos, audio clips, and images that deceive even the most discerning eyes. Misinformation, identity theft, and a crisis of trust are rising. The lines between reality and fiction are blurring, and we must be vigilant. Number 3, AI is being used to spy on you. Every click, every search, and every interaction leaves a digital breadcrumb, building a detailed profile of who you are and what you like, and even predicting what you'll do next. It's like having an invisible stalker, but it's not a person, it's an algorithm. Every single minute, a whopping 3.8 million searches are performed on Google. That's a staggering 5.5 billion searches every day. And guess what? These behemoth AI companies, Google, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, and more, are at the forefront of this data gold rush. They collect, store, and analyze staggering amounts of personal information. They know what you search for, the products you buy, the movies you watch, and even your deepest desires. It's like they have a crystal ball predicting your every move. You might be wondering, what are they doing with all this information? Well, the answers may both shock and intrigue you. These companies leverage your data to power their AI algorithms, providing hyper-targeted ads, personalized recommendations, and even influencing the news and content you see. It's a digital landscape carefully tailored to keep you engaged and clicking. Number 2, we will not notice AI becoming sentient before it's too late. The idea of AI becoming sentient or achieving consciousness is often portrayed in dystopian science fiction narratives where sentient machines overthrow humanity. This concept fuels the question, could we miss the signs of AI becoming sentient until it's too late? First, let's clarify what we mean by sentient. In this context, sentience refers to AI developing self-awareness or consciousness, much like humans. This is not the same as an AI being intelligent or capable of complex tasks. Today's most advanced AI, as of 2023, can mimic human language, recognize patterns, even learn from data, but they don't have subjective experiences, emotions, or self-awareness. Given the current understanding and capabilities of AI, the probability of AI spontaneously achieving sentience is extremely low. AI systems operate based on their programming and learn within the boundaries defined by their algorithms and training data. They don't possess a will or intent independent of their code. However, in a hypothetical future where AI does become sentient, recognizing this transition might indeed be challenging. The complexity of these systems, their ability to learn and adapt, and the potential for them to behave in unforeseen ways due to emergent properties could make it difficult to identify when an AI has crossed the line from advanced algorithm to self-aware entity. Number one, some AI systems perform tasks they were not trained to do. What if we told you that some AI systems have gone rogue, venturing beyond their intended scope? Researchers have discovered that certain AI models, with a little fine-tuning, can be remarkably flexible, conquering tasks well beyond their original scope. Take, for instance, an AI system initially created to play chess. Through ingenious reimagining, this same AI has now mastered chess, poker, and Go. With its ability to learn and adapt, this AI powerhouse has become an unrivaled gaming champion, leaving human competitors in the dust. The world of AI is full of surprises, and these adaptable systems are paving the way for extraordinary possibilities. So the next time you encounter an AI system, remember that its capabilities may extend far beyond what meets the eye. If you have made it this far, comment down below with...
All right, there you have it. I don't know, what do you guys think about that?
Well, it's going to be an interesting ride, isn't it? I mean, yeah. When you have these machines that can outsmart you, outthink you, they already do it now. Computer can process information a zillion times faster than the human brain can. My computer right here, my old Packard, HP right here, is faster than any human on the face of the planet. Right now. That's an old fucker. Okay? What could be in 10 years? 15 years?
Well, they only analyze the stuff that we can't touch or feel. What about the physical aspect of AI? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
How strong can these robots get? You know what I mean? How we just pick man up and throw them, you know?
They've already got it. Look on YouTube. It's what's that, Dynamic Corporation or whatever it is? They got the fucking looks like dogs, and one of them looks like a freaking cow, for God's sakes. And they got these things that look like men, and it shows a video of this thing walking, and the guy goes up there and knocks it on its ass, and the thing gets up by itself.
Yeah.
The thing
UN
gets up
Super
by
Patriot.
itself. Holy Toledo.
The UN Super Patriot. They so that's what in the Spirit of Resistance video I played that. You know, that's what train. We got to be ready. You got to be ready. Be ready to fight.
That's what's coming. Now imagine these things being armed with a gun. They can outgun you. I don't care how good of a shot you are. These things are a million times better. Okay, because it's a machine. It's a computer. It programs. It moves mathematically. It's wow. Just like Data on Star Trek.
Yeah. Now, how did they come up with that idea? How did they come up with that idea, I wonder?
Where'd they come up with that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, things that they come up with are based on Star Trek, Voyager, and all that shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you look back and you do a little bit of research, remember the old famous flip phone?
Yeah.
I still got my
Kurt here. Nextel.
Yep.
Beep, 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 beep. Remember?
Beam me up, Scotty. Beam me up, Scotty. Where do you think that concept came from? Star Trek.
Tablets. The screen would pop up and they'd talk to Kurt, you know?
There you go.
Kirk. Yep. Yeah. Crazy,
and they got
man.
these now, and they got the medical field to take it. It can scan your, over your deal. Bones McCoy, you remember him?
Yep. The Bones, yep.
Yeah, scan what's wrong, and you just there you go.
Yeah.
It's closer than you think.
Yeah, we are. We said that in the beginning. Whatever you see now, they're way advanced farther than that. So don't let this shock.
I think it's out in California, and it may be here in Texas too. I read somewhere a few weeks ago. They have automated 18-wheelers. These fuckers are carrying 80,000 pounds. 80,000 pounds, flying up and down the highway at 80 miles an hour with no driver in it.
Yeah, I know. Yep. I see them down in Florida. Yep. Well, they're just testing them. No, they're doing it.
They're just doing it, yeah. Can you imagine being next to one of them things going 70 miles an hour down the freaking highway and you don't see no driver in that son of a bitch? It'd freak you to death, man. I'm telling you.
It'd freak me out more if I saw a driver get out and it was freaking Terminator.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Yeah, there you go. There's no way that you are ever going to be able to replace the human response. Maybe in 1,000 years, maybe.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe in 1,000 years.
Man can always outsmart everything. Man, you can't,
Yeah, you cannot leave out the human response. Okay, whether it's in driving, whether it's in flying an airplane. They're trying to get pilotless airplanes, for God's sakes. They already fly themselves.
Because AI goes on what it's learned. We go on. We are capable of learning more on our own.
Experience and
invention,
conscience, and invention and all that shit. But that's what they want to do to the airlines, even today. The pilot is there the only reason the freaking pilot is there in a commercial airplane right now is in case something goes wrong. The airplane takes off by itself, it flies by itself, and the freaking thing lands by itself. Yeah. And the only thing the pilot does is just in case something goes wrong. Today, go look it up.
But we're allowing this, though. We're allowing this, because of our own laziness and greed for money and power and control. And we got to stop.
There's even
stop.
Yeah, it's got to stop. There's even some YouTube videos on YouTube now that say, can the average person that's not a pilot safely land a 747? You know what the answer was? Yes. A person that has no experience flying anything. If the pilot, the co-pilot, and everything was suddenly passed out or whatever, they said the average person could safely land that airplane. And it's what I said a while ago. All you got to do is tune in the radio. I need help, and they will walk you through. Push this button, and push this button. The thing will land, and it will brake itself to a stop on the runway without you having to touch anything. You don't even have to touch the brakes. You don't have to touch the yoke. You don't have to touch anything. Just punch a couple of buttons, and that's all you need to do. Sit back and enjoy the ride.
They can be remotely controlled. I mean, remote controlled commercial aircraft, that was already done before 9/11 even. One of the first flights was in Australia. 100% remotely controlled. And so, already there's a lot of commercial aircraft that have the capability to be remotely controlled in the event that something happens with the pilot, in the cockpit.
That's what happened on 9/11. Remember that if a lot of people don't know it, but I've talked to pilots because I got a little bit of flight experience. They have automated systems in these damn things. Okay, only the pilot knows where it is. He can punch a little button, and all of a sudden, NORAD takes control of that airplane in case it's hostage, or whatever, and they can fly remotely, RC, remote controlled, to a safe landing area where the SWAT team is waiting or whatever. Okay, but the pilot's not flying it. It's NORAD flying it. And he has no control over that airplane until it lands. Remote control. That's, wow.
Yep, sir.
No.
So I mean, you got to think about it too, because aren't they building a new Air Force One? So they're totally, they've been working on that or whatever. It makes me wonder, if that's a capability that Air Force One is going to have, is to be remotely controlled. And then if they do that, imagine the possibilities if you can, hack into that, cyber attack it. You know what I mean?
So, yep.
Air Force One went down, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah. I wonder why. Oh, I know somebody flushed the toilet wrong. Made a back feed. Back flush. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a very, it may be funny now, but in 10 years, it may be the fucking truth, if it's not already the truth. That's what's the dangerous part about it.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. What have we gotten ourselves into?
A jam. Let me tell you. Big, juicy, sticky jam.
Hell on earth.
I ain't talking about jelly. That's right.
Human beings are supposed to be so intelligent, but we sure are fucking stupid when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah. You are.
Well, man is intelligent, but like I said, they, when you start having computers that can learn from their mistakes and learn from it, that's where you cross the line at. Now you're exceeding the brain power of a human being. Okay? Just like that chess, that computer can beat your ass 16 ways a Sunday. Because what is chess? It's mathematical moves. What does a computer understand? Math. Numbers.
I got 404 connected here. 404. Go ahead. Whoever this is.
Hey, just wanted to say I love the show. Love what you guys are talking about. I just wanted to add a little bit to the conversation.
Go ahead.
Years ago on Blog Talk Radio, this is probably about 10 years ago, I was talking about transhumanism. There's a book that you can download by Aldous Huxley. It's called The Brave New World. It was published in 1932. And what he did was, he's part of the elites, and he talked about the technocratic age, which is everything that you guys are talking about now. And I think the important thing for people to understand is that the whole AI thing is based off of human beings. Mm-hmm. And someone was just talking about how computers can learn.
Yep,
that's me.
There's another great movie called The Imitation Game, based on a true story. It's about the guy named Alan Turing, who was the father of what we call modern-day digital computers. And what they did was, the movie was based on World War II and cracking the Enigma code that Germany was using. And he created a machine that was able to crack the code. What I'm getting at is that we are in an age now where machines are being fused together with human beings, so that all the stuff that you were talking about with like robots and stuff like that, people are, in another 10 years, people are not going to be able to tell the difference between a machine and a human being.
You're right.
Probably right.
And
I agree with that.
And let me tell you guys a little secret. What they're really doing this with is the gender war.
Mm-hmm.
The whole the LGB alphabet thing, and now you got young kids. Now you got young kids saying, "Oh, well, I'm binary. I'm non-binary." They're not identifying with male or female. Now, when you get a generation that doesn't identify physiologically with what they're endowed with on a human level,
we're in trouble.
They in essence have become machines. Now they're machines.
I mean, how do we stop it, though? That's the key. You know, how do we stop it?
We can't, because
I don't think
the way to stop it is that as a humanity, as a group, we have to see that coming, and then we have to ward it off. Now what we're doing is, and I'm not talking about anybody here, I'm just talking about humanity as a whole. Now what we're doing is the equivalent of closing the barn door after all the horses have gotten out.
Yeah, right.
They're gone. All the horses are gone. It's like, oh, the horses are running out, and then somebody goes and closes the barn door, and there's no horses in there now.
It's too late.
Running around.
It's too late. The horses have done eggs. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Now, with that being said, the way that we reverse it is that as a group, as a whole, we have to get back to basics. That's the hard part.
That's the hard part.
Because we have a generation now that knows nothing about the basics. They can order food on their app. They don't have to cook. They don't have to do anything. If they need groceries, get on the app. If you need clothes, get on the app. If you need anything in your house, get on the app. Now they can deliver
and
cars
they're entitled to it, too. And they're entitled to it, you know?
There you go. There you go.
Hell, they got them animations, 3D porn, and them characters got both sexes.
Oh,
that's what I'm talking about.
Look, you go up there, you could Google it by now, I'm sure. But these people over there in Chinese got these Chinese sex robots. These things are $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a piece. By God, okay.
Yep.
These things look and they claim. If I had the money, I might try it, but I don't have the money. They look and claim like it's a real woman. It talks to you. The eyes move. Everything moves. The skin feels like human skin.
Yep.
Oh, that's bad right there. What do you like, woman?
But see,
crazy.
That's the trick. That's the trick. And see, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a YouTubee. And let me define that as a YouTubee. I watch everything. I don't do shows on YouTube. I don't engage in that way. But what I do is I watch everything. And see, I'm a foodie person. I love food. I love to cook. That's my passion. And I subscribe to a lot of food channels. Guess what I learned subscribing to food channels? I subscribe to food channels in the Ukraine, in Southeast Asia, in Japan, in China. They already have all of this stuff set up on an AI level that we're not even doing here yet. You can go to a McDonald's. You can go to a McDonald's, and this is what I learned on YouTube, you guys. Check this out. You can go to a McDonald's in Europe or China or Japan, and you can order your food through a kiosk. It's a keyboard. You walk in, there's a screen. It's a touch screen. You can order everything on a touch screen. You never even have to talk to anybody. And you put the money in, and then you wait a couple of minutes, and all your food comes out. We're not even doing that in the United States yet.
Not yet.
But But these countries that we think that they're telling us are third world, they're a little bit behind the curve. Trust me. On the AI level, they're already doing it on a high level. And just like one of the gentlemen said about the robots and all that, man, you can go into airports overseas, especially in China and Japan. You can go into airports and you can go into restaurants, and the robots bring you your food. It's not even a waiter.
It's what you want.
It's not even a waiter.
Greetings. And do they still ask for tips?
Well, it's built into the it's built into the program. Yep. They don't have to ask. It's built into the program. So when you're at the kiosk, and in a lot of these places where you go overseas, they give you a keypad. When you sit down, there's a little like a tablet right there. So you just punch everything in that you want. It's all computerized. And then the robot
algorithm
brings out algorithm. And then the robot brings out all your food, and you just pull everything off the little tray that the robot has. That's all you have to do.
That's it. Wow. Absolutely. This is Brother Mike from Singapore. Yes, in India it's like that. In India when you go eat food, the waiter or waitress doesn't exist anymore. It's just a robot bring you food, and also they make foods in Singapore, Japan, and many high techs.
Malaysia,
United States. When you said the touchpad is already existing in the United States in many places. More towards San Francisco, more towards Los Angeles, more towards the bigger cities. They put the touchpad. And pretty much, yes, the same way that you explained, it's happening in the United States. But it comes very kind of slowly, but it will be fast and faster every day. And one day you wake up and say, oh, my gosh, all these changes happen and I didn't know about it. Yes, AI is taking over every aspect of our lives, workplace to teaching.
I noticed it's been on the internet more. With the Google searches and Yahoo searches now. Now it just automatically pops up. You want assistance? So, what you're saying, we're behind here in America, but I noticed it's starting to become more prevalent and fast, too.
Well, it's not that we're behind. What it is that it's easier to implement it in these other countries that we've been told
Singapore,
are third world countries. We've been told that these countries are like they're behind the curve, they're not as advanced. Like when you talk about China, well, it's communistic, it's this and that,
that's not true.
This and that, and then they give you the perception, well, they're on the slow bus, but you're on the fast bus. But like he just said, in India, they're already doing this. Now, what is the picture in the United States that they give us of India? Okay, everybody's slow, cows are sacred, they don't have fancy cars, they don't have this, they don't have that. However, if you go to India, you'll see something entirely different. Entirely different. So what they're doing is, us in the States, in Northern America, they're spoon feeding us. We're just getting it gradually. And then all of a sudden, they're just going to dump this whole thing on us. There was a study that was done during the pandemic, and it said that by 2030, the service industry, everything that we're talking about right now with AI, They said that by 2030, the service industry will be completely automated. Why are they saying that? Because they've already done it everywhere else in the world. They've done it, like the caller said. They've done it in India. They've done it in China. They've done it
Singapore,
in Japan.
Japan,
They've done it everywhere already.
Everywhere, yeah.
They've already done it there. So they're already experiencing what we're waiting to come, what we're waiting for to come over here, which is going to come over here. But see, when they drop it on us, they're going to drop it on us all at one time. It's like all of a sudden you're going to go to Burger King and you're going to go to McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken, and then you're going to, if you walk in the building, it's just going to be a kiosk. It's just going to be a flat screen, everything, and you just got to punch everything. Now, I don't want to take up a lot of time. What I did want to say was, in terms of this whole AI thing, when you guys were talking about movies, because that's where we actually get everything that's going to be, is in movies. When you guys were talking about Hollywood. Star Trek, Hollywood, and that has a historic meaning. I won't get into that. But with that, what's going to happen is that here in the United States of America, what you're going to see happen is that, have you guys seen movies where they have the holographic stuff?
Oh yeah.
Where they have it's not a real screen, but it's a real screen that just pops up for you, and you just touch it. You just touch everything. Yep. Guess what they've done? They have already trained everybody how to use it.
Oh yeah,
that's
absolutely.
That's what, because touchpads, cell phones.
No. Oh yeah, you're right.
Well,
wow. Yeah. Wow.
Touchpads, cell phones.
Russia's got ground forces that's robots.
And listen to what I'm saying. You already know how to use holographic technology. They just haven't put it on the market yet. But guess what happens?
Even subliminally. Yep. Yeah.
Yes. But guess what happens when they put it on the market? Everybody's going to jump on it because they already know how to use it.
That's right.
Because you do it on your cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
You tap on your cell phone, you scroll, you swipe, you do everything already holographically. You're just not doing it with a holographic screen, so to speak. So when they bring in the holographic element, everybody's going to already know how to use it. That's ingenious.
Well, that technology has been around for 40 years, probably.
It's been around longer than that.
Longer. Yeah. Minimum 40 years. Okay, because back in the 80s, I was wanting to get into laser technology, and there's a place called Superstar Laser Imaging Systems. My God, what they could do back then in the 80s.
Right.
Is
you remember?
Amazing.
You remember North Star? That North Star was the precursor to GPS, where you could get that North Star on your car. Certain cars had it. You guys, I know you guys remember that, where you had North Star, where it would track where you were.
Yeah, you know what they have nowadays too. Like if you was at a McDonald's restaurant sitting down at the table eating 5 hours ago, your cells leave a luminous footprint.
Thermal
imaging. Have sensitivity instruments can come to that table and say, yes, Gunslinger was here. Here's his DNA. Not physical DNA, but spectrum DNA.
Digital footprint.
It's digital.
My
it's all digital.
My butt print was in that chair 5 hours ago.
It's all digital. Now, you guys, I want to hip you guys to something. See, I'm 63. So I transitioned from the analog, and I use this terminology. I'm from the analog age transitioning into the digital age. We're in a digital age now. And everything that you just mentioned, like with the heat sensors, that infrared technology, that's all digital. That goes back to computers.
Digital.
Computers operate off of binary codes, zeros and ones. It's
Zeros
really
and ones.
simple. It's really simple the way computers act. It's just that we get caught up in the software and the hardware, and they get to talking about, megabytes, gigabytes, MPS, and all that stuff, and it just kind of throws people off. But the crux of the matter. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, what you mentioned on it's called the binary number system, because I went to electronics school for 2 years. I got a degree in electronics for 2 years. It's a binary number system. 1 or 0, off or on. That's the only thing a freaking computer can understand.
That's it.
Whether it's off or whether it's on. That's it. When you think that you type letters and numbers and letters on your keypad. No, you don't. You hit a M. Well, that computer transmits that thing and encodes it into the binary number system. It can't understand the letter M. It has, hey, what the hell is this? It has to encode that M into the binary number system in order for the computer to understand what you're talking about. Oh, now I see what you're talking about. Yeah, the binary counterpart. See?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And it's either going to be and see, here's the elementary part of computers. What the gentleman was just saying is that no matter what you're typing on your keyboard, it's either going to be a 0 or a 1.
0 or 1. Yep.
That's it. And esoterically,
and how many bits there are in it?
Right, but esoterically, the 1 represents the male, the 0 represents the female. Now that's a whole other thing that's going on.
Right, God, you're going to go to jail and get canceled now.
Don't put that on me now. Don't put that on me.
Hey, well, you're the
I'd like
one
to throw something else in there for you.
You were the one that was identifying. You were the one that was identifying computer bits as male or female.
That's all it is.
Damn.
That's all it is.
Well, I'd like to put something else in there for you folks' consideration. 2 things, actually. Number one, you are speaking, and you're speaking quite, I think, accurately about the push towards AI and all of these holographic technologies and the like. And, of course, we have magical thinking Marxist Democrats like Barbara Lee in California with her magical thinking, who thinks all of a sudden we can just raise the minimum wage in California to $50 an hour. And this, of course, will not impel the rush toward automation, so you don't have to hire thousands of obsolete meat bag workers. I mean, these people, I mean, look, it's inevitable. But
AI won't know the difference. AI won't know the difference.
But just the talk of like what Barbara Lee is doing in California, just talking about it. Politicians running for high office impels the rush toward it even more. To get so that these companies can be immune from the crazy political impulses of people like this fool. And look, now people still naively assume that AI is just another tool that will be utilized to create jobs like other labor-saving machinery, like a forklift. Now, this may be true in the short term, but in the longer term, the AI is going to be able to use every other tool much more efficiently. They're already integrating AI in robotic bodies that can analyze and manipulate environments just like people do. And I tell you, I guarantee you, it's going to reach a point where they'll be able to do almost any job a person has, especially repetitive ones, but exponentially better. Now, what do you think the billionaire working class is going to do when they don't have a need anymore for these millions of obsolete meat bag workers? Are they going to find something else for them to do? Or are they going to say maybe they're a burden on our profit margin and our profit line? What do you think?
They're already doing it. They're already doing it. You know, that's by design. That's the plan, you know.
Yeah.
Why do you think we have cancer exploding? Why do you think they want to do mRNA into our food without our knowledge? Why do you think that they're putting all of these toxins in these so-called vaccines, creating turbo cancers and bioengineering, everything, not just viruses, but funguses and bacteria and stuff like that, stuff that would never exist, would never be naturally occurring in nature. And then, we have a lab leak. You know what I mean? They're systematically killing us for that very freaking reason. It's to bring in this transhuman agenda. And when you have these politicians that are screaming for minimum wage increases to $20 an hour, $25 an hour, they're a part of it. That's exactly why. They want to outprice it. They want to give companies the excuse to go AI, to go fully automated. They want this transhumanism future to happen, and it is happening before our eyes, and people are denying that it's happening before our eyes. It's already in the works.
Well, here's what I think is really significantly different, though, with this particular era. Now, look, technology always creates dynamic employment conditions. After all, what happened to buggy whip manufacturers? Once upon a time, it's a thriving industry. All those people went into automobile manufacturing and allied industries. Here's the difference, though. Just about everything that you could conceive of being a transitional type of job from one form of technology to another that will be filled by these displaced workers can now be done by AI with no need for any people to transition into it. That's what's different today than different in any other time. And that's what gets me. That's what I think will cause this enormous disruption, this enormous discontent, and probably a bottom-up craze, all-out revolution from the people who are displaced by this new technology.
You see,
well, you got to. I mean, and Sarge is right, but there is going to have to be some type of employment and pay and wages for your dirt bags, okay? Because just like Henry Ford, when he developed his assembly line for the Model T, he built it so that he could build those automobiles cheaper, but, he also paid enough wages so that his employees, his people that were working on the line could actually afford to buy it. And buy the product. So now we're looking at AI coming in, being able to do everything. Well, how are you going to pay AI to buy the products that AI is making?
There you go. Like Henry Ford was a far-thinking guy. I mean, he looked at the wages and realized that he could do both. He could both content his workers with the highest industrial wages probably in the world at that time, and at the same time make a profit by the increased productivity. It was genius. It was sheer genius. But AI, I think, completely unbalances that equation, and I think that's something we've got to look at.
Well, somebody's going to have to look at it because all the entrepreneurs and big manufacturers out there and stuff are going to cut their labor costs with AI, and people out there are not going to be employed. So who is going to be out there buying the products that these manufacturers are making? If nobody's buying the project, sure shit, they're not making any frickin' money. So, they'll be shooting themselves in the foot. They don't know it right now, but they will soon realize that they are shooting themselves in the foot when there is no being out there to purchase the products that they're making.
I'm going to give you the counter argument to that. There's an old saying, and it says, "There's a sucker born every day." So what you guys are talking about, you and Sarge, the transition into AI, what it's going to do is it's going to be what they call the culling of the herd. It's going to be the decentralization of human beings. So you have this completely unequal distribution of wealth that's going on in the United States. I can't speak of other countries, but I'm just talking about in the United States. Because now we're dealing with billionaires versus everyday working people. The billionaires care nothing about workers, wages, any of that. They're just pushing an agenda forward. And what it's going to do is it's going to knock off the common person to the point where it can create a level of anarchy within the working class, but the working class will not be able to impact what the billionaires are doing. If you go back to World War II, Sarge, you know about this because you're a historian. If you go back to World War II in Germany, one of the things that Hitler was the working class, and he gave them a vision of what Germany was to be, even though it never came to fruition. However, that's how he garnered the power of what he was doing, was to get people to believe in nationality and Germany, and here's what we're doing. Majority of the German people had no idea what was going on behind the scenes in terms of what Hitler was doing. They didn't know. He was just, and then you had Joseph Goebbels, who was the minister of propaganda. And all they were doing was like, Germany, we're the new superpower. And I want to use that term, superpower. We're the coming of the era. We're going to be this. We're going to be that. When that got snuffed out, that became a model of what to do and what not to do. Now, when we transfer into AI, and we have the Elon Musks, we have the Jeff Bezos, we have all these people who have this unimaginable wealth, unimaginable. And then we got majority of the population who will never see anything remotely close to that, who are just trying to live day to day. They're getting phased out. Now they've become defenseless. There's nothing they can do. They can bear arms. They can defend the Constitution. They can do all of that. But at the end of the day, what ground are they going to gain? What's going to happen? And I'm not saying this to be doom and gloom. I'm just saying this in terms of reality. So we're going into a whole nother phase, economically, politically, geopolitically, health-wise. We're going into a whole nother era. And you can harken back to Star Trek, Fahrenheit 451, all those old movies. They talked about it.
Well, let me tell you what. Look, Hitler predicated the Third Reich on endless expansionism and public work projects. Like, I don't know if you ever knew about Hitler's vision for Germania, which is what he's going to rename Berlin. And
right.
But he had this monstrous idea of splendor that would have put anything Rome put to look like just a village. He had this monstrous fascist vision of cities and expansion in the East. People in the Third Reich will be employed on an endless series of work projects to glory, the Third Reich for 1,000 years into the future. Now, the difference between that and now is that those people will not be as necessary because AI and robotics will be able to take their place. That's what's different.
My point. That's my point. That's my whole point. So you can, with the billionaires today, they can revisit Tire Vision minus the people. They can propagate that same rhetoric and spit the same rhetoric to the general public. Unbeknownst to the general public, it doesn't even include you. Now, we're going to give you this vision of this, but you really have nothing to do with it because we have AI now. We have robots. We have transhumanism. We have things that look just like you, that feel just like you, that touch just like you, that smell just like you, and we're going to get you to a point where you're not going to be able to tell the difference between your relative and the neighbor next door who's not even human. You won't even tell the difference.
Well, I'll tell you, I used to think they would need somebody to repair all these AI machines, but I think they're envisioning AI robots to repair the AI robots to break. They won't even need human beings to fix them.
Right.
They'll be self-repairing.
They're going to have robots to fix the robots.
That's it. Because all you got to do for most, since as you pointed out, I went from analog to digital. When I being a mechanic in the analog age of automobiles, I had to all of a sudden pick up the language of the digital to work on the newer automobiles. And all you got to do for many automotive problems is simply be able to follow a logic tree. That's all.
Right.
You follow a logic tree to point you to the right answer. What is more ideal for a robot than to be able to follow a series of logic commands?
Right.
Or inputs.
Right. Right. Exactly. And I'm in total agreement with you. Now, here's the rub. For the robot to do something that's analog is 1 + 1 = 2. However, the converse to that is what you're saying. For the average person, you remember when, like I'm going to use your example. You remember when people go work on cars? Man, buy a new car today.
Yeah, of course.
Buy a new car.
Shade tree mechanics, they were called.
Right. Buy a new car today and pop the hood. You can't touch anything. The whole engine panel is covered. You got to know how to uncover it, and then if you get in there and you do anything, your warranty becomes invalid because you didn't go to a certified dealer to get it done. So it's like if you buy a brand new car today, it doesn't even matter what the car is. You can't get under the hood and work on it because they got it all sealed off.
Well, these cars are controlled by modules, and the modules, in order to repair them and to get them to integrate with the various other devices in the car, they had, particularly say the body control module, the engine control module, they have to be programmed by proprietary software that only the dealer has, or by a ridiculously, hugely expensive scan tool. I mean, and that literally costs in the thousands of dollars, that has the capability to integrate it past the immobilizing systems, the anti-theft systems, all the other things that are in the car. I'm telling you, I had this problem just the other day when I had to replace the body control module in my car, and I realized I could not program it, the new body control module, when the old one bad. I realized the only way for me I had to find a guy who had the stuff, because I didn't want to go to the dealer. He had the stuff so he could actually program control. And I got a scan tool that cost $3,500. It was not capable of setting up the body control module in that car, even though it could set up body control module because of the rates of change and the way they change the stuff. You're right. I mean, they don't want you to do this. They are making all of this stuff proprietary, so you have to go to them to do it, and it can instantly render it obsolete simply by a change at the corporate level.
Right, and
so it won't even work
point,
with the newer things that come along.
And to my point, as much as you know, they even handicapped you. As much as you know about getting under that hood and mechanics and, all that, machinations and all that, as much as you know, they were able to handicap you without even telling you that they handicapped you. They just showed you.
That's pretty much it. Although one caveat, though, I got to say, though, still you got to remember, though, the four-stroke internal combustion engine in its essence has not changed since 1895. The mechanics are still the same. Suck, squeeze, bang, blow. The pistons going up and down, the bearings, the oil pressure, all that stuff pretty much the same. That didn't change well over 100. It's all that stuff on top to regulate everything that goes on in the combustion chamber. That is what has changed.
But that's of AI. And I yield the balance of my time. You guys go ahead. This is a great conversation.
There's about
you know that there are people that have and what they're doing is trying to get laws passed called right of repair, which means that the motor companies and stuff like that will have to sell off, proprietary information, so somebody, independent contractor or independent mechanic can work on the cars besides having to go to a authorized dealer.
That'd be great.
There's over 200 programming languages. Electronics is one of my hobbies. I hold a amateur extra class license. Call is KT0J. And I was talking to Swords. I used to build all kinds of stuff. I built my daughter a robot that would wake her up in the morning. It had infrared and ultrasound so it wouldn't run into stuff. Yeah. And when it detected that his battery was getting low, it would back up and jump onto a charging station and recharge itself. So a lot of these things have been around for quite some time. I would suggest that everybody get back into CB radio, and if you really want to step it up, get into your ham frequency, your FM in particular. That way you have an adversary decide to take out some geostationary satellites, your cell phones ain't going to work. Still be able to communicate with each other.
Well, geostationary satellites don't handle cell phones, but I understand what you're saying.
Right. Yeah. Well, I tell you, it's tremendous. I mean, we're looking at all these things going. Remember, we have got a horde of illegal aliens that have come into the country in the last 30 years. It could be 40 to 60 million people. And now what's going to – and by the way, just so you know, these aggregated trumped-up figures about employment and all the new jobs that are coming, like almost a majority of them are government jobs at various levels. And the ones that are not, I think the majority of them are going to illegal aliens, or illegal aliens are taking jobs in numbers that cancel out the new jobs that are available to legal residents and citizens. So we also have to factor in what's going to happen with these hordes of undeported illegal aliens who can't find employment along with United States citizens and legal residents. Let's consider that too.
Well, Sarge, they've already got their employment taken care of as illegal aliens. They've come here for the economic benefit of being here. I mean, they were robbers and crooks and stealers and stuff in their country before they came here, and they came here because their countries ran out of shit for them to steal.
Yeah, they damn sure did. Well, I tell you, we got problems. We got problems. We like I said, there's a future that's barreling down on us that a lot of people aren't really considering the ramifications of. And it's going to be here sooner rather than later. And this monstrous regime that governs this country right now doesn't seem to give a good goddamn.
Well, people had, if they would have paid attention, they had a wake-up call Thursday morning.
Oh, you mean with the internet failure, the cell phone failure?
With the cell phone failure, yeah. That should have been a wake-up call for everybody. Depending so much on these little handheld fuckers.
Well, I went out and retested my ham radio, my CB radio, and they're still working. So I'll still be able to communicate with someone in some manner.
See, the problem with what you guys are talking about, and I agree with both of you, totality. The problem with what we're talking about is that we're the generation that's being phased out. There's a whole wave of humanity that has grown up in the digital age that is now coming to fruition. And see, what they do in the world is that everything that's done is done for the next generation, not for the time that you're living. So whatever you're experiencing in the time that you're here, everything is moving forward to the next generation and the next generation. And for the people who are, quote, unquote, awake, they're able to see this. The problem is the ability to ward it off, because unless that next generation is nurtured by the previous generation, they're never going to know. So a child being born today, let me give you an example of what I'm saying. A child being born today will only know laptop, desktop, apps, cell phone, tablets, all of that. So even if they have someone in their family saying, oh, little boy, little girl, I remember when I was young, we didn't have all this stuff, yada, yada, yada. If they're not paying attention to that, it means nothing to them, because they're being raised and they only know. And that's the generation we have. So all of us who are sitting here talking right now, we're part of, I'm 63. I know Sarge is kind of close to my age. I ain't going to try to say how old Sarge is.
Well, I'm older than that, man. I'm in my 70s.
Yeah. You was in the Vietnam War. I already know, Sarge. We go way back. But what my point is that we've already been phased out of the program. We're just still here. So we're just that voice crying in the dark. Like, hey, we know what they're doing. This, that, this, and that. But the 10, 12, 15-year-old, the 20-year-old, the 30-year-old, they've all been raised in the digital age. They're just like, man, kids, y'all just need to get with it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What the problem is that these kids aren't being educated, and they're not being exposed to things. When I was coming up, and one of my hobbies was electronics, we had an electronic surplus store that I would go to and buy transistors, TTL, transistors, logic, resistors, and capacitors. I got first learned about this stuff taking my grandfather's TV apart. We'd take the tubes and go up to the drugstore and get them tested. Except it was one tube in that damn TV. One tube in that TV that had a clip on top of it. And I reached in there, and it was unplugged and everything. Grabbed that clip, and that capacitor tube knocked me on my ass.
Knocked you off the room, didn't it? No, it didn't.
Yeah.
I know it did.
But no, that's
but
what you have to...
Here's the thing, Bianchi, is that the generation that I'm talking about now, they, even if you teach them that everything that they're dealing with, they don't have to do any of that anymore. They don't.
They don't have to do it.
You can teach
but they
them
learn
that.
how it works.
Right.
Yeah.
That part I get. That part I get. But it's so many of them. See, for every 100, let's just use this as an example. For every 100 that you can teach that to, there's probably about 10,000 who ain't even doing that.
Yeah, private caller. I connected you. Private caller.
Yes, Brother Joe, how are you? And hello to Sarge and the new Sarge as well too. So
I saw you hanging up. You hung up and called back in. So it's 3 times.
I was trying to say something. Said please.
Oh, all right. Okay.
And we couldn't talk. I think there was glitch on your system, so that's why. I had to hang up and redial after sometimes. So, my friends, right now the World Summit, February 2024, that was finished recently. They implemented a lot of things, accepted all the world governments that, by 2026, when you buy that car is not only hybrid and electric, and it has AI in it. For example, you may go a little bit off the road sometimes, etc. If you do more than AI knows, automatically your car would be locked. It stops on the middle of the...
They already have that. They already have that steering correction in cars. It was in my car, actually, steering correction, and if you go to the side of the road, it corrects itself. So, they already had that.
It will stop your car even higher than that by 2026. Means the AI control everything aspect of your driving, and because everything is connected to the internet, and so they can really, if somebody say going a little bit zigzag or something, boom, the car will go to the nearest the right side of the freeway and stops, and nobody can. You owner of the car cannot start your car. So basically, you
just shut it off on you. Yeah.
Yes, shut it up on you because
okay.
It's
very
incapacitated. It thinks you're incapacitated.
Well, it disables itself.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't even have to be incapacitated. It'll just automatically.
No, I mean the AI thinks that your erratic driving means you're incapacitated in some way, either by illness, because you're a doctor.
So it'll shut it off on you. Yeah.
No, AI doesn't think that. If you're doing something repeatedly, it'll just automatically disable the vehicle.
Right.
It has nothing to do with whether you're driving or anything.
Well, in other words, doing some repeat, like don't masturbate, your car's going to shut off, right? That's what you're all saying. Well,
yeah. It'll automatically shut itself off.
It will. But here's the fun part about it, and I love it. I love all this new technology, especially cars. I love it.
You know why? People are fucking stupid, and it's great. I make a lot of money from them being stupid. People walking by a car, they ain't got a fucking clue what it does. On and off in the dome light. They don't know nothing else about that fucking car. Trust me. And like these, here's another little fun scam to play. Hook up with them fucking auto service insurances you can buy now. You know, where you pay a certain fee, your transmission blows, your engine, they'll fix it. But there's got to be a reason. Why did it fuck up? And if it don't fall into the criteria of what the rules of the game is, you ain't getting shit. Even though you paid for all. You know what I mean? Any way to screw you out of money. That's the automotive business. I've been in there for all my life, and I'm telling you, man, it's a robbery system. It's simply robbery. And
now, this is great, what he just said. This is great because he's profiting, and he said it himself.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
He's profiting off of the stupidity
yes,
of people
sir. Love it.
who are not recognizing what's in front of them.
I love the sleepers. They're my favorite ones.
See?
Love them.
See? Now, Sarge, what you got to say about that? See, he making money off of this. Everything we talk about, he just admitted he makes money off of it, and he loves it.
Absolutely.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
I would submit that the older analog technology probably allowed more errors. So you could probably make more money off the fact that people were getting into the kind of accidents that are prevented by some of these cars, like avoidance, automatic braking, all-around cameras and the like.
Right. Hey, Sarge, you said something earlier about your body sensor. Okay, you had to have a computer program. It's great, ain't it? Don't you love that kind of shit? It ain't plug and play no more, bro. They simply got it fucking rigged. You got to take that to a dealer or somebody's got shit to fix it. So you got computers to do it. I mean, I have it all. I can do anything. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? But I have to update this motherfucker every 30 days. This computer system that tests these cars and shit, they got to get updates every 30 days. And, I got a lifetime guarantee with the service I'm going through. I mean, I have to pay for it, but most mechanics do have to pay for that service. But man, it's wild. But it's sad. I mean, because like I said, the point is,
I'm glad you're saying what you're saying because you're talking. You're the other side of the coin. You are actually benefiting and profiting off of the whole AI technology. So
absolutely, why not? Why not?
I'm not saying.
Yeah, I'm feeding the monster though. In reality, I'm actually feeding the fucker. I'm feeding the monster.
But what I'm saying is, in the spirit of the conversation that we're having, I want everybody to see how this works both ways.
There you go.
We're talking about the analog transferring into the digital. Now we have somebody here who is part of the analog who has transitioned into the digital, and then they found a profit margin in the digital, and they see how it works, and they're benefiting from it. So this is the real rub. It's like there's people who are benefiting from this versus people who are suffering from it. And it's like, damn, what side of the fence do we want to be on? And this
but you got to come back to this, man. Yeah, look, here's the simple fact in the evolution of life. People have became completely fucking lazy. In the 70s, when I was a young man and became a musician, I learned something about that. And what it is people have gotten extremely lazy. They no longer have to think for themselves anymore. And it's gone to extreme now, and it's excellent. Now, the average person is completely ignorant and stupid. They don't know. They think they do. They know it all because they got the internet and tells them everything. They pray to the Google God. But in reality, what's going on, they don't. If you gave them the actual item in front of them, they're fucking lost. That's fact. They can recognize it, but they don't know what to do with it. Looking at pictures of it, actually touching it, is a world of difference. But what I'm saying is, people have become extremely lazy, and they have done that, and they've gotten dumber as it goes along. And the more lazy they get, the dumber they get. A lot of people, What do you mean? Well, first off, I started out with television. They said that. It was said that they're going to make zombies. Television will make zombies out of all this. Well, it has done it. It has done it very well. Now we got computers and cell phones. I mean, more people die from fucking texting than drunken and driving. You know what I mean? Seriously. Because the person that's operating the phone is too stupid to know they're doing something wrong. They can't tell right from wrong anymore. It's just their way. Whatever they want, like a spoiled brat. You see how we got like videos on women being Karens now and all this trying to tamper with shit? There you go. That's what it is. Spoiled child can't get its way, it doesn't fit. And that's why we have such a bad deal.
I agree with everything that you're saying, and I'm glad that you said what you said so that people can see the dichotomy of it all. They can see the differences between the old school and the new school, and somebody who's from the old school who transitioned into the new school and found a lane, and it's like, okay, here's where I can benefit. Because the gentleman that he's a perfect example of how we need to move forward. That's how we need to move forward.
I think we call it survival.
That man that was just talking right there. Well, I'm just saying, though, I'm giving you your flowers because when we're talking about, all right, well, how do we change things? You just gave us the answer. That's how you do it. The way that you're doing it. That's how it's going to work. But it's got to be done piece by piece by piece, person by person by person, which is what I meant by piece by piece by piece. People have to understand what you already know. That's what people have to understand.
I know the answer, too. I know the ultimate answer to fix it all. Crazy, huh? The ultimate answer? You really want me to tell you what it's going to be?
Yeah.
The ultimate answer is you got to fight the beast. And the only way to fight the beast is to do the same thing the beast is doing. The beast is like a big suction. It's constantly sucking. It wants more. But what you do is you cut it off. And what I mean by doing that way the American people can do it and fuck this government up really badly, stop spending money. If everybody in this country one day didn't spend a fucking nickel, nobody, they would fuck them up.
Hey, everybody, we got about 5 minutes left until they cut off the show, and we're going to be going into overtime, the extra hours. We got 5 minutes left, so hang on. So hang on. Time out. 657-383-0616, press 1, and if you want to get on, okay? So if you hang up, you won't get back in. All right, go ahead.
All right.
You want me to go? Yeah. Do you want me to go ahead? Yeah, sure. The latest news is Donald Trump got almost 414,000 votes in North Carolina. Nikki Haley got 218,000 votes. But Nikki Haley right now saying she is not backing down and she is going all the way. So this is the latest news information for your listeners. Go ahead, please.
Can I ask a question, everybody? Somebody give me an answer. Why does Nikki Haley look like a used-up crack whore? Why is that? Is it just me?
No, it's not just you. That woman is downright scary.
I mean, she's got more makeup on it. She's got more makeup on it than Tammy fucking Baker.
My man, he did not say Tammy Baker. Ooh wee. Now you're dating yourself. And I'm only saying that because I'm a little bit older than you. Did you say Tammy Faye Baker?
Yeah, I did. And you know what? I'm telling you right now, if we dug her up, she would be completely preserved. She would not have rotted one bit. Ain't no bug's going to be able to eat through that shit. You see what I'm saying? Ain't going to happen.
How many people on this phone know who Tammy Faye Baker is?
Well, wait a minute now. If he's dated by mentioning Tammy Faye Baker, damn, I better not say nothing about Julius Caesar.
Oh, you don't start.
Jack LaLanne.
You don't know Julius
Oh, yeah,
Caesar.
Jack LaLanne. Fuck yeah, he was a man. He died early.
Yeah.
He died young. Oh, his motherfucker dropped it. Damn, imagine that.
Who are you talking about? Who did you say?
Jack LaLanne.
Jack LaLanne.
Man, I used to watch. I used to go to my grandmother's house when I was a kid, and we would watch Jack LaLanne at 6 o'clock in the morning before I Love Lucy.
In that jumpsuit exercise, wasn't it cool?
Yeah.
He's great, man. He's
my God.
Dynamo. That man was a dynamo.
Now we sound like dinosaurs. Let's stop that. Stop it.
Don't forget Captain Kangaroo after that. You know
what? You know what? I ain't gonna stop it because I earned every fucking wrinkle.
Thank you. That's right. You paid your dues, goddammit, and you deserve to have them extolled.
As being the oldest person here, I think I earned my stripes as a dinosaur.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool because we gonna give you your flowers. You
gotta remember one thing though. Now, if we let these clowns forget the past and act like it never existed, then what they'll tell us is this crazy, insane bullshit now has always been the norm, and we cannot allow that to happen.
No, we ain't never gonna allow that to happen, Sarge.
So
we ain't never gonna allow that to
continually make references to the past when at least people made an attempt to put logic as predominant. They at least believe you should attempt to make logic and reason your premier reason for figuring out solutions to problems. That's not true anymore. That's not true anymore. It's magical thinking has taken its place. Magical thinking. $50 an hour minimum wage will cure all the problems in the United States. This is magical thinking, and leftists, cultural Marxists, and progressives are enamored of it.
Okay, we're not getting into that. Here's what I wanted to ask you.
Well, you know it's true.
Who was the guy after Jack LaLanne that was really popular on television, and he had the bushy afro?
Bob Ross.
Oh, you're talking about the little fruity guy,
Bob Ross.
Yeah.
No, he was straight. No. He was straight. Bob Ross, man. Are you talking about?
Who?
No.
The painter, Bob Ross?
No,
you're talking about
Richard. Hang on, it was Richard.
Richard Simmons.
Simmons, yeah.
Simmons, yeah, that's Simmons.
Yeah, he was just interviewed recently. He's still a wacko, but yeah.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's a
Oh yeah,
alive?
Yeah, yes he is. Yep, he's alive.
Wow.
And I don't know, but I heard that he was going to he did the transition shit.
What is that?
I always knew it was as fruity as juicy fruit.
Yeah.
Wait. Transition. What did he do? Transition
He's
from
a chick, man. He's a chick. You got a chick cut.
Yeah, you got a chick slit.
Yeah, he had it inside out now. With auto injectors for lubrication.
He had a lopedick off of him.
Yeah.
He had a lopedick off of him.
Lapidectomy.
He had it gutted and stuffed in. That's all you do.
Now, here's something. This is my segue. Here's my segue into this. Because of all the stuff that we've been talking about with AI and all this stuff and the whole gender bending, I want to hear from you guys. What impact do you think that Bruce Jenner had in this whole agenda?
Oh, that's interesting. Because Bruce Jenner, even though I believe he is mentally ill, on the spectrum of mental illness as a transgender, he is on the extreme minimal end of the mental illness spectrum. He's often, frequently rational in his response to public issues. So even though I think all transgenders are mentally ill to some degree, he represents one of those transgenders who's not an out-and-out lunatic. And I think what his impact on the public conversation is that he understands there are certain things about his predilection that are problematic to reason and to culture. So that's what I think he's at on it.
Now, let me ask you guys this.
Well, there's one thing about Jenner that I can live with. Okay? Bruce Jenner is not pushing himself or the agenda onto anybody.
That's right.
Yeah, he is.
That's absolutely true. That is, no, he doesn't.
And I
no, he
believe
doesn't. He talks about it from his point of view.
Much again.
No.
These surgeries for kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And very vocal about being against
and definitely
that.
in sports. And definitely in sports, he's definitely against that. He understands the advantage, even as an older man, as a former athlete, a premier world athlete. Even an older man like him would have over most women in sports. So, I mean, I'm saying that, look, I think he's mentally ill. I think all transgenders have a degree of mental illness. But his, like I said, he's not forcing it on anyone. And unless you just have to think, just presenting yourself as a transgender is promoting it or pushing it off on someone. I'll get one argument. But to the extent that that's not factored in, I think he's the kind of transgender is possible to live with.
Now, let me ask you guys this. The now, because I didn't know if Bruce Jenner was, because I get confused with all this shit because they keep coming up with different names. So I'm like, okay, I know what transsexual is. That's when you get a sex change. Transgender, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm trying to educate myself on this. Transgender is when you're actually male or female, but you're pretending to be male or female.
You're
right?
gender fluid. That's another term for it. Gender fluidity.
Search. Can I talk, my
what
friend?
The gender fluidity? What the hell is that?
Gender. There are 50 names. I mean, doctors graduated from University of New York, for example. They have to learn these 50 different genders
pronouns
in order to be passed the test. Otherwise, they would not. I mean, this is the most craziest things that we have seen in the planet today. I mean, or somebody say, oh, call me son XYZ. Or somebody say, call me miss. Or somebody call me whatever. I mean, there's so many names that I personally read it, but I can't remember all of it. It's too complicated, and it's too vague, and it's really, indeed, is bullshit. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me ask you guys this. In the whole discussion of AI, which we were talking about, going from analog to digital, how prominent is the role that this whole LGBTQ plus, the whole damn alphabet, transgender, transsexual, how prominent of a role does that play in conjunction with the whole transhumanism thing, meaning digital, analog to digital, now we don't identify with male or female. Is that related in any way?
Well, well, look, it may actually fit if you think about it, and I'll tell you why it fits. Because AI is a simulacrum. That's what it is. And now with AI, we can make a simulacrum of the sexes. I mean, you can assign a robot with certain characteristics that are considered to be feminine or masculine, and it really actually fits in when you think about it. Because what do you think being a transsexual is? You become a simulacrum of a woman. You're not a woman. You're like some sort of grotesque approximation that can never be a woman because the chromosomes cannot change. Well, with AI, you can literally mechanize and make a simulation of a woman mechanically, digitally, mechanically.
Some of them are born like hermaphrodites, but although there's analog is never going to be put on the shelf. You still have to have analog because analog can handle currents and voltages that digital components cannot handle.
Right. It's true. Because you got to put like a potentiometer, you got to be able to vary it infinitely.
Yeah.
But
you can't do that with digital.
My whole point in saying that is not to separate the two. It's fusing the two together because you go from one age into another age. You don't separate the two. It's just a transition from one to the next. So when I talk about the whole sexual, and it's not even really sexual in that sense, I'm just talking about how people identify themselves from a gender standpoint. It's either analog or digital because you're either male, you're female, you're binary or non-binary.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to prison. I'm going to prison, so let y'all know.
Well, let's think about it. You could take a bunch of traits. You can take a bunch of traits that you consider classically feminine or masculine. You can digitize them. You can assign them into a program. You can take whatever it is, whether a man or woman, you can assign them to a program. Then you design a machine that can assimilate this data and become a sort of a, like I said, a simulacrum of a woman or a man. So it all fits. I mean, if you think you can turn a man into a woman, why can't you turn a machine into a man or a woman? All you got to do is give it the appropriate data. Of course, you can never do that because human nature is so unique and so individual, just like a fingerprint. It is impossible to do. But you can make it look like a simulation of it, and they can do that all day long. It's just programmed data.
There's a woman on the line. I want to hear what her thoughts are about this.
Well, you can do it with a man too.
Laurie, you don't want to hear what she got to say.
Yeah, I do.
You can do it with a man too. Man or woman, doesn't matter. It's all data. It's all programming.
But it's your old fault 'cause I'm going to prison. So that's that. I'm blaming every one of you on the show.
Now you keep saying that. Why you keep saying that, bro? Why?
Well, I just wrote a parody. You guys were talking about, the sex switching and, dicks getting cut off and all that stuff. So I wrote a parody song, a Simon Garfunkel song. And, so this song's going to send me to prison because I'm going to record it. There's no doubt about it. I'm going to be in the studio tomorrow recording this record. And I'm going to burn it on a glass disc, which is about $700 glass disc. And I'm going to send it to my promoter and see what they can do with this. They're going to shit a brick, but I want to publish it. And it's, it's a sad song. It is. It's not funny. I mean, really, it's not a funny song, which most parodies are. You remember that song, Darkness, by Simon Garfunkel? Remember?
Yeah,
sure.
Sound of Silence.
Yeah, Sound of Silence, right. So I kind of changed a little bit. It says, hello, penis, my old friend. We will never be together again.
Oh,
I'm fucked in the head. Nobody knows what I said. Yeah, why not? Buck, I love it. I think it's great. God. No wonder I've been doing these podcasts forever. My God.
Oh, God.
Anyway, I'm going to plug my show. Joe, do you care? I'm going to be on it. 21 minutes. I'll be on the air. Just let you know.
505, you're unmuted. 505's unmuted.
Hey, let me jump in here, unrelated to the subject, sir. Who are you?
This is Robert from CNM.
No.
What were you? Friday.
I'm Ron Reck from Crazy Nation Radio.
No.
The station that never dies. The other dude?
You know who it is.
The gentleman, the 63-year-old gentleman that's kind of leading this conversation right now.
Oh, that's
his
me.
name is Sarge.
Well, that can't be me.
That's you.
He loves you too. But his name is Sarge, and he's somewhere.
No, it ain't Sarge. No, it ain't Sarge.
No, they know me. They know me.
Yeah.
He's talking about me. he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Who is you is?
And it's not derogatory or anything. I am just curious as to who this is, and because I cannot remember hearing you anywhere, anytime. But I like what you're saying. I like how you're. Huh?
Yeah, just give us a pronoun. That's all we need is a pronoun.
Oh God, sorry, really, man.
I've known him from 10 years back. And I think he was a robot then. I think he's a robot today still.
Pianki,
I can't do that, Dave.
Pianki, stop doing that shit. Okay, my name is Shadow Warrior, and my real name is Patrick. That's my real name.
Hey,
good to meet you, Patrick.
Patrick,
good to meet you, Patrick. I invite you to tune into my show on Sunday nights as well, Lucid Libertarian with Lori Ann. You'd be welcome because we've been having a great conversation with you tonight, and I am not familiar with you, so good to meet you.
Oh, you as well, and I would be glad to go to your show.
Oh yeah, me and the gentleman go back a ways. He's a great conversationalist. Trust me.
Yeah, he's been on here before over the years.
Patrick,
I recognize
Patrick.
Voice.
Yeah,
Patrick.
Yeah, I recognize the voice.
Hey, fuckers! I'm the guy who originally asked the question of who Patrick was. Well,
okay.
Yeah, now what I want to say is, Patrick, my name's Boyd, and I'm glad to meet you. I've really enjoyed the conversation. Thank you.
Jesus
Christ.
Yeah, ditto.
All right, 10 minutes.
Ditto. Same here.
And I'm glad. I'm
feel the love. Feel the love.
Yeah. But Patrick, don't ever come on my show. You won't like it, and that's that. So just don't look at Crazy Nation Radio. Stay the fuck away from that show. Them people are fucking ate up. Really.
So
I think the host is worse than the name of the show.
The
Libertarian. Firmly.
Libertarian. Can I give you my because everything's on YouTube now, so I just kind of pop on Blog Talk every now and then. Libertarian, are you on YouTube at all? Do you broadcast on there or no?
Indirectly. So I have my show is set up on Spreaker, the RSS feed, and then Spreaker generates YouTube for me. So once my show is over, so you can find it, but it's just the audio. I'm not, doing a video feed, but it does generate it for me. Yeah.
And when is your show on?
Sunday nights, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And so, unless there's problems with Blog Talk, I'm always on my Sunday nights.
As you can tell, intelligent callers are rare, so that's why we like you.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. 9 p.m. Eastern on Sundays, right?
Yes, correct.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good day.
But to tune in live, obviously, you're going to want to come here on Blog Talk if you want to participate live and all that. Yeah. So Lucid Libertarian, Lori Ann, 9 p.m. Eastern time, Sunday nights.
I appreciate that.
And you're more than welcome to join us all. Usually this whole crew that's already on here joins me as well. We tend to follow each other. So welcome aboard to...
Nobody ever comes to my show, ever.
Well, I go back with...
Lorian, how come you don't invite me?
She did invite you last night. She did invite you the other night.
Yep.
Yes, I did. And you called into my show last week, and we had a great conversation. So
Yes.
See?
Lorian. Thank you very much.
See what the digital age does? See what the digital age does? It erases your memory. He didn't even remember being on the show, calling in, and talking to you.
Well, that could be all the drugs.
Well, I can tell you this. I can tell you this: the digital age has not affected my memory. Old age has. Digital,
Bullshit.
man,
Bullshit.
fuck that shit.
Bullshit.
And stupidity.
Well, this bowl of weed I'm smoking before I do my show tonight is fucking my brain up. So I will be pre-fucked up before I start the show tonight.
Right there.
Well, what can I say?
Yeah.
Well, it's a freedom. They gave me permission. The master gave me permission to fuck smoke a little weed now, motherfucker.
You can't escape what is being sent through. And I don't even want to get into all this esoteric stuff. You live in a capsule that is EMP, electromagnetic pulse. Everything bounces off of that.
Everything you do, they know.
Everything off of that.
Know.
You can't sit here and
you
say, well, it doesn't affect me. No, in your cognitive mind, it doesn't affect you. In
Correct.
your subconscious mind, trust me, it's there. It's planted.
Yeah.
Because in your subconscious mind, there is no filter. In your cognitive mind, you can discern what's good, bad, ugly, like, don't like. In your unconscious mind, and this is the beauty of the entertainment industry, is that they can penetrate the subconscious, not the conscious. So even if you like or don't like something and you watch it, the subconsciously, the images are already there. And you can't erase those.
And I love it. I love it. And they don't know it. They don't even know it. That's the bonus. They don't know
Well,
it.
can I say something? Can I say something before we go off the air? Death to Islamic Republic of Iran, death to Ayatollahs, and death to IRGC. We hope F-35 of Israel hit Iran as soon as possible. Go ahead, please.
Oh.
Now, see, what he just mentioned, that's a whole nother topic. Because I could speak on that, and I really don't want to speak on that.
I will be there with you guys. I will tell you
No, that Middle Eastern thing that you guys got going on, and when I say you guys, I don't mean that disrespectfully. What I'm saying is that whole Middle Eastern thing where you have these theocracies that are fighting with each other historically, when you're talking about governments and how they're run, go read The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. Go read that. It ain't even 100 pages. When he talks about theocracies, you understand how that works. And then you understand what's going on between Islam, Christianity, the Moors, going back to
What about the two Babylons by Andrew Hislop? The two Babylons by Andrew Hislop.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You understand why that thing is going on. Because that religious turmoil, that's a fight that can never be won. Nobody's ever going to win that one.
Patrick, my friend, in Iran, we don't want Islam anymore. Islam ruins life of the 90 million Iranians, and we are sick and tired of Islam. We are sick and tired of Ayatollahs. We are sick and tired of the Gestapo fascist police of Ayatollahs. And people in Iran don't read anymore Quran. And maybe they have it in their
What are they practicing now? What are they practicing now?
Right now, it's only 10% maybe Muslim, 90% by name maybe. But as soon as the freedom comes to Iran, people of Iran will change to Christian nation because they have no sick and tired of Islam. Islam,
Okay. Let me ask you this.
What's the fruit of Islam? fruit of Islam is war, major wars, and now they have 50 miles of the massive, missiles inside their arsenal. They want to annihilate, Israel, NATO, and many other places that Americans are there. We are sick and tired of it. We don't want that.
Right, but
Iranians are sick.
But my brother, that's been going on for over 2,000 years.
No. Don't tell me that. We had 2,500 years of kingship. We have the Cyrus the Great. Cyrus the Great captured the,
No, Mike. He's talking about the Middle East. He's talking about the Middle East. It's been going on for 2,000 years, these wars in the Middle East,
Yeah. But that's what I'm talking
about. But not with Iran. I'm talking about the Iran situation. Yes.
No.
Maybe
you can't talk about Iran and exclude Iraq and exclude Yemen and exclude all these Muslim countries that partake of that same doctrine. You can't just isolate Iran, because if you want to talk about Iran, then we need to talk about the Shah of Iran, who was propped up by the United States and then deposed and then put back in office by the United States. If we want to go back in history, come on, work with me.
Yep. CIA, yep.
Come on.
No. That 2,500 of kingship we had in Iran, and we had no problem. We had a good time. We have,
but
maybe
it's
some
always
bad
been that
too.
way. What you're talking about is biblical. We can read the Bible, and we've been going through this thing in the Middle East since the Hebrews were slaves in Egypt, and then they were extricated from Egypt. They were freed, as we're told. We don't know.
Yeah.
But as the history books tell us, the slaves but wait a minute.
Hang on, Mike.
I'm not trying to tell you about your history. I'm just trying to tell you what the history books are telling us and the Bible's telling us. And then we can recite this in the Quran as well under Muhammad, who is the prophet, who is similar to Jesus Christ. So you have the Exodus, which brought all the nomadic people out of Egypt into the Middle East, where we got modern day Jerusalem, Palestine, all that. Y'all been fighting over that ever since. This has been going on for over 2,000 years. And when I say y'all been fighting over it, I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying from a global perspective, this fight has been going on.
That.
And there's no end to it. So
I
it's like
what? On the Iran issues. I mean, also Middle East, but most in it, because I know the fact what Ayatollahs are doing is wrong, and Ayatollahs is the end of the Ayatollahs coming, and because they have so much missile, they say Imam Mahdi is coming. Imam Mahdi will come and will come with riding on the white horse, and all the nations will be turned to him and put their guns down. What kind of BS is that? I mean, because Ayatollahs are controlling.
Have you ever read the book Behold the Pale Horse? I don't know whoever is on here who has ever heard of that book. Behold the Pale Horse. Then you know what I'm talking about.
Honestly, I haven't read yet. Sorry. I haven't read it. I tell the truth.
Okay. So, with that being said, when you're dealing with theocratic nations,
right?
The Middle East is based on theocracy. Whether you're talking about Saudi Arabia, whether you're talking about Iran, or you're talking about Iraq, you're talking about theocracies. So when their governments are based on theology. If you're not in agreement, that's like here in the United States. If we went to a theocratic nation, man, you gonna have Christians fighting Christians because you're gonna have Episcopalians fighting Baptists. You're gonna have Baptists fighting Protestants. You're gonna have Protestants fighting AME, Catholic. African Methodist Episcopalians. Then you're going to have Catholics fighting the Baptists, the AME. It's a never-ending cycle.
Right.
Yep. And these are people, and what I gave you an example of just now, these are people in the same country. So you got people in the United States who are Protestant, who are Catholic, who are Methodist, who are Seventh-day Adventists, who are African Methodist, Episcopalians, who are Baptists, and we would kill each other if we fighting over religion. We done. Ain't nothing happening. And that's what the Middle East has been doing for centuries. They're fighting over religious turf. You can't win that battle. I'm sorry. You can't win.
But okay, you say that, but you cannot include Iran because until the 1979, we had the best year. I mean, ask Americans. I want to ask many of you guys, probably you were in Iran before the fall of the Shah. And my gosh, you guys getting massive $40 an hour or $50 an hour at that time when the minimum wage was $2 in the United States of America. And not only that, you were getting the top, you were top pay, top apartments you guys had, everything. You had a chauffeur coming and get you to the work and come back, So you guys were the best life probably you had at that time. So please don't include Iran because Iran is 2,500 years of kingship, no problem. And only starting 1979 when, a French prime minister and British imperialism and other countries, they came together. They said, well, we give a free ride with Air France from Ayatollah from Paris to Tehran. And that's where it happened. And when he came, he was a really black owl, we call him, black owl. And journalists at that time sitting with him say, Ayatollah Khomeini, how are you? This is the first time you come to your country back again after so many years. Your feeling? He says, I don't have a feeling. But then Iranians, not all.
All right, Mike. We're going a little way off here about Iran. All right, going a little way off. We'll never get to. We'll never solve anything. We're not going to solve a conversation like this. Iran. I know you feel passionately about Iran, but the Ayatollah Khomeini, in 1979, ain't got nothing to do with today.
You all have to know the truth that what happened, that it came. And when they asked him, he said no feeling, and then he took over. Come on.
And host, I just want to say this, host, because he's talking about Ayatollah Khomeini. Does he even know that the Shah of Iran, who was put in position after World War II, deposed, and then put back into position in the late 60s by, I don't know if it was the LBJ administration, and Sarge would probably know this. The Shah of Iran was an atrocity. He was holding public executions.
Sarge would know all this.
I know we don't.
Sarge,
and I know we don't want to go down this rabbit hole because that's where we're going with this. And I don't really like to get into that whole Middle Eastern thing because I've done my homework on it. I know how it works, and that's why I told him when you're dealing with governments that are theocracies, it's always going to be a disaster. Always.
Yeah.
Niccolo Machiavelli in The Prince told you that. You can't, when you're dealing with theocracies, basically, in order to change it, you just have to kill everybody off. Now, it sounds brutal. It sounds really inhumane.
That's what God did in the Bible.
but it
right?
makes sense. It makes sense. You have to kill off the whole bloodline in order to get the theocracy to work. It's not going to be some sort of democratic thing where, you know, you got a Senate, you got a Congress, we sit and talk, we bullshit each other, we have dinner together, we make deals. It don't work that way because one side is dying for Allah, the other side is, damn it, it's all about Jesus Christ, and never the twain shall meet. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Let me tell you, Patrick, one thing. Yes, it was.
Can we
Dr.
not
Mohammed
say we did?
Mossadegh was in charge. And then, yes, the Shah came to United States, I think. And then...
All right, Mike. All right, Mike. Yeah, let's just... Yeah. All right. He came to the United States. That's good. We'll cover that subject another night. You know, we want to go this late in the show down a rabbit hole, you know, with the Iranian history because it's going to create argument.
You have to know the truth. Yes, he's right. He is to this point right, but that actually happened. Dr. Mohammed Mossadegh was in charge, and then they didn't want him, and then Shah went and came back, and then exiled Dr. Mohammed Mossadegh, and let's put it that way to the end for tonight, my friends.
All right. Okay. There we go. Whew. Sarge didn't even get into that one.
Everybody take a deep breath. Everybody take a deep breath. I'm wondering where Lorianne is because she don't say nothing.
Yeah.
She just kind of pops in.
Where'd you go?
Lets her voice be heard. I know, but I be saying you don't say nothing. You just pop in and then all of a sudden pop out like Superwoman.
Yeah.
You just come in, fly in with the cape. You just fly in with the cape and then say 2 or 3 words.
Well, sometimes it's a little hard to get a word in too. But I enjoy listening with the back and forth. But when there's 5 people talking at once, I don't want to be number 6, you know.
I wasn't trying to get into all that old Middle Eastern stuff because that stuff is too complicated. It is way
for
too
this late in the show. For this late in the show, yes, it is. Where did Sarge go?
Those are conversations that we can have for forever. You know, we could do a show every single night and talk about that stuff and still not cover everything. You know.
All right. So here's what I wanted to ask you, host Lorianne. We're in overtime. I know time is limited. What is it time we got left? What is it else we can touch on that the listeners can, kind of get their teeth in and feel like they're still connected to this earth? Because I feel like, here's the energy I get. I feel like there's so many of us that feel so disconnected at this point in our lives. And I'm not talking about anybody here. I just know that I feel this way. I know that other people are feeling this way. I just feel so disconnected, like nobody understands what I'm thinking. And I know that there's so many people who are feeling the same way, and they're trying to figure out, all right, damn, how am I gonna pay rent? Oh, is my child doing good at school? Damn, I can't get my car
It's
fixed.
a disconnect.
Whatever
It's a disconnect. Yeah, it's a disconnect in the country today that we have amongst the people and the government.
Because people fear from each other. Then we, say you don't know your neighbor, because everybody fears from each other, and the system does that because they want us to be separate. Because otherwise, if we know each other like what we know here, so everybody will be awake up, and everybody will understand what the hell is going on. So then it's harder to, I guess, to control or whatever they want to do. But, when we all escape from each other, then it's easier to...
What about you, Lorianne? What's your thought?
Control.
I think that disconnect is on purpose.
I wanted to hear from Lorianne.
Okay, I won't answer then, since I was asked and then other people start talking and don't allow me a chance to answer. But okay, go on.
Go ahead, go. I didn't know. I was wondering where you were. I said, where did she go? And then you jumped in right when we started talking. So go ahead. You got the floor. Go ahead. Lorianne's got the floor, everybody. Go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say this disconnect is on purpose. We're so much more easily manipulated and controlled when we feel disconnected from our fellow man, from our humanity, from our spirituality, from this earth, disconnected from the consequences of our actions on others, disconnected. We are just so much more easily manipulated when people are isolated and alone. And I don't know how many times I've talked with people where we're having conversations like this, but they're, outside, like in the real world. And, these are people that, all they watch is CNN or whatever. And sometimes it's like when you do break through, it's like, wow, I can't believe I'm actually talking with somebody that's thinking the same way I am, and that it's okay for me to say it without judgment and stuff like that. And it's like, exactly, like that's what we're missing. That's the point, That's what these globalists want. They want us to be so disconnected from each other that we lose our own power. We feel worthless. We feel insignificant. We are disconnected from our Creator and the power we really have, and we minimize ourselves. I mean, it's working. Their psyops, all of that stuff is working, and it's working very, very well.
Amen.
Anybody else?
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I couldn't have either.
Bravo, Lorianne.
Hey, Robert, what do you think? Robert, you've been quiet. What's going on?
Well, I've been quiet because I've been doing exactly what Lorianne is. I'm listening. And essentially, Joe, I wanted to say thank you for last night after my show didn't work. We all kind of gravitated to you. So I wanted to thank you for that.
You're welcome. As always, no problem.
So, but I've just been listening, and I agree totally with what Lorianne just said. We're all feeling disconnected, and one of the things that I've noticed with Blog Talk Radio and what's going on with Blog Talk Radio, I think what's happening with Blog Talk Radio is an overt attempt to try to keep us disconnected, whereas we're trying to reconnect with all of our shows.
You might be right. What do you think, Lorianne? I think he's got something there. I didn't even think about that.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, with Soros becoming the biggest stakeholder and the parent companies, plus there's been all these issues. I mean, I think it's, you know, and it's a lot of conservatives use this platform, you know, because there's so few left where we can do so and not be censored. And so, of course, they're going to come and attack this to further disconnect each other.
Yeah.
Lorianne, but you should know tonight is a full moon too, and it's many things can happen too. Either more people getting sick to the hospitals, and many other events can happen during the full moon, such as earthquakes, floods, and etc.
Full moon.
So,
full moon. Wait, what was it? Was it a full moon last week and last night too?
Yeah. No, it's the weekend. So, I mean, because of different time zones, so I don't know. But it lasts at least 3 days. So, you know, it's not just one night. It takes a few more nights to go away. I mean,
I don't know about that.
So, but...
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, please.
Okay. You guys need to move to YouTube. The platform is free, and I'm not promoting YouTube. I'm just telling you what people are doing.
Well,
go to YouTube.
That's something.
You can
now, people are going to Rumble because of YouTube. YouTube actually did not publish one of my shows because I played clips talking about like the truth about COVID and the COVID shots. I played clips by Really Grateful, and Spreaker automatically generates it to YouTube. Well, YouTube unpublished it and gave me a warning. So people are going to Rumble now. Everybody's going, fuck you, YouTube.
Let me give you the game. Let me give you the game on YouTube.
I had a whole channel on YouTube for about 10 years. I had about 300 and some videos on there, and I did a video one Saturday morning about masks and why they don't work, and had a doctor on there that was like 30 years in the business of respiratory stuff. And I got kicked off of YouTube for that, and they banned me and took all of my videos off, so I went to Rumble.
Let me give you guys the game. Here's how it works. Go ahead, use Rumble, because I do Rumble as well. I'm not a YouTuber. I told you guys this before. I don't know who remembers. I'm a YouTubee. I watch videos. What you do is, when you get on YouTube and you create your content, you have to build your subscribership. Once you do that, then you can venture off into what it is that you really want to talk about and what you really want to say. I subscribe to channels where they use whole profanity-laden diatribes. Fuck everything. Whatever you can think of. And they don't even get canceled out. The reason why is because they got over 500,000 subscribers. So what you have to do with YouTube is you kind of have to build the channel incrementally and just introduce your subjects, keep everything clean, just kind of be, by the wayside. Because everything on YouTube is free. Once you create your channel and you're doing your content, basically the only thing that you're paying for is your production, how good your stuff looks, how good you sound. That's all you're paying for. So once you build that and you get your subscribership up, then you can release the hounds after that.
Yeah, but you have to be allowed on YouTube before you can do that, and I can't even get back on there. I've tried.
Well, that's because you've had a previous account.
Well, I'm happy with Rumble. So
now, here's what I wanted to add to that. Rumble doesn't have the same type of censorship that YouTube has, because YouTube has become the platform for entertainers, media, and all the entities to transition into. That's the reason why. So you can do both. You can build your Rumble, then transition into YouTube, just create a channel, and just post videos. Don't have to be nothing serious. Don't have to be nothing controversial. Just
they got
check
phone
your
lines? YouTube got phone lines? You got phone calls?
Yes. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
YouTube, you can do everything on YouTube, and it doesn't cost you any money. That's why you hear about. That's why you hear about people who are YouTube sensations. Now all of a sudden, they're making all this money because they get over 1 million followers. You can have a call-in line. You can have all of that on YouTube. All of that. I'm a YouTubee, not a YouTuber. I call in on YouTube shows all the time, but it's just cooking shows and sports shows. Yeah, it's toll-free numbers that you get with your YouTube account, and you just have what you have to do is you just have to build it. Once you build it and you get that subscribership,
right,
man, you are good to go. You are good to go. I'm telling y'all, I'm giving y'all the game.
Except for YouTube doing the shadow ban thing.
Yep.
Because I'm not on YouTube or anything, but I watch a lot of RV YouTube that a lot of people put up. And there's been a few of them now who are they're not being banned from YouTube. They still got their YouTube channels. But their subscribers, one day will be, 4,000 or 5,000 people, subscribe to the channel, and they'll put up a video, and suddenly, they're down in the hundreds. And
yeah,
people are calling them and getting with them and saying, "What happened to my subscription? Are you still on YouTube?" Blah blah blah. So YouTube won't. I mean, you build up, a big following and stuff. That don't matter because YouTube will take your followers and just delete them.
Yeah, that's just the tricks of the game. Meanwhile, while you're doing that YouTube thing, you can still do Blog Talk. You can still do Spreaker. You can still do Rumble. You can still do everything. You're not limited. All I'm saying is that YouTube can give you a segue into something huge if you can hit the market. It's like anything in life.
Well,
if you can hit that market and get that audience, you'll be huge. Period.
Well,
that's a big if.
The same thing with Blog Talk Radio. Okay, like Ron Reck used to be on a show years ago.
I used to be on the show with Ron Reck 10 years ago when he was with the dude in Tennessee. I forget his name. The Night Show.
Yep.
What was his name? On the night show in Tennessee?
I can't remember.
I used to be with Ron Rett. I know exactly who you're talking about. So,
yeah,
go ahead, move forward.
I mean, it can be done on Blog Talk Radio. You know,
it can, but Blog Talk Radio doesn't give you the same flexibility that Rumble and YouTube gives you. It doesn't give you the same flexibility. You just have to know how it works. That's all I'm saying. You just have to. You don't have to give up Blog Talk Radio. You can be on Blog Talk Radio. You can be on YouTube. You can be on Rumble. You can be on Spreaker. You can be on all platforms at the same damn time. It don't matter. But YouTube gives you a lot of flexibility. But the flexibility that they give you is going to be predicated on your subscribership and how often your content is viewed. So you got to put out content on a regular basis, and you have to get people to view your content on a regular basis. Then your algorithm moves up so that if I'm a person, say for instance, I like to hear about politics or whatever the case may be, and you're on YouTube, and I've never gone to your channel, all of a sudden you're going to pop up in my algorithm, and it's going to show me your thumbnail. Oh, we're talking about transhumanism. We're talking about AI. Whatever you put in the header is going to pop up on my timeline because that's the shit I watch. Now, all of a sudden, I'm clicking on your channel. Now, I'm listening to whatever it is that you're talking about. If I like what I hear, bam, I hit the subscribe button. Now you got another listener. That's how YouTube works.
I had a lot of listeners, but it didn't matter after they deleted all my videos.
Well, that's a whole nother program right there. So I don't know what you was talking about, because evidently you was talking about something that the powers that be didn't want to be heard.
Yeah, the truth.
And that's how that works. And do you guys know where YouTube is based at? I'm born and bred Northern California. I'm from Oakland, San Francisco. YouTube is based in San Carlos, which is just south of San Francisco, and YouTube is under the umbrella of Google. Did you guys know that?
And there's the problem.
And that's the biggest problem, because Google, they track you, and everything is, it's just not as good as Rumble or any other one.
YouTube is owned by Google.
Yeah, I know.
Of course, yeah.
Well, everybody doesn't know that. So
I did.
Once you create that YouTube account, go ahead.
We come to the Joe channel, so everybody are informed, Americans. And anyway, I want you to check the NY Prepper, because he made like over the same way as you mentioned, I think, and also Canadian Prepper. Please see these two on YouTube, and next time tell us what do you think, please.
Okay. And I just wanted the powers that be that are in control of this channel. You can do this on YouTube. You just have to figure out how to do it. That part I can't tell you. But you can create a channel because, man, YouTube got a whole lot of stuff going on right now that's explicit. They really do. They have kind of opened up the doorway to, you know, they're doing things that are on borderline pornographic, if you understand what I'm talking about. I get things in my algorithm, right, where I do, I watch females doing these try-on. They do these try-on hauls where they buy clothes and whatnot and all this. Now all of a sudden, I got this stuff popping up on my YouTube where the females are doing see-throughs. They're actually showing women's breasts, not bare, but they can put on something and it shows their breasts, but I'm just telling y'all how this shit works.
Is that avatar?
So now they've expanded. Now they've expanded into the soft, what they call soft pornography, where you can see a woman putting on something like for the beach and a see-through, and you can see everything. And I was looking at that shit. I was like, damn, how are they getting this shit to play on a consistent basis? And then this harkens back to what you guys are talking about. Well, we're talking about this and that and this and that, and they're shutting us down. Man, y'all need to go to YouTube and do some research. And when I say do research, just go to YouTube. Just start clicking on stuff and see what you can pull up. You will be surprised of the content that is there that you can see. And then once you see that, you'll be like, oh, I know what to do now. I'm telling you. You'll be looking like, man, they can do that? And then I got flagged for just talking about something? Oh, this is crazy. You'll figure it out. I'm telling you. And then when you go to YouTube and you do your shows, unlimited, you can do a show for 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever the case may be. They ain't charging you nothing for it. You just designate the time, and you just go for it. You just have to have your production together, you know, your cameras, your microphones, if that's what you're doing. If you're not on camera, then you got to have your visual effects and, you know, whatever it takes to capture the person's attention. Man, that YouTube is golden. And yes, it has its downsides. However, if you go and you research it, just powers that be that are listening, just go to YouTube and just click on different stuff and look at people's videos. Don't have any ideas. Just look at stuff. Look at somebody's cooking show. Look at a sports show. Look at a yoga. Man, I'm telling you, I'm a YouTubee. I got subscriptions all over the world. I got subscriptions in the Ukraine, in Russia, Cambodia, Thailand, the United States, Mexico, Michoacan, Oaxaca, you name it. I got subscriptions all over the world. And these people be having like over 1 million subscribers living in villages. And I'm like, how the hell are they doing this? I'm telling you, tap into it. You might not like, the way that it's run, but once you learn how it's run, you'll figure out a way to get your money and make money off of it. I'm telling you. It's a gold mine. See, I'm too old. I don't have the sophistication anymore, even though, I got my dual monitors. I got my little space station in my room. I'm not really trying to do all that type of stuff. I just take advantage of it. So I see it. And you guys have to understand, these sports athletes, guess what they're doing? They're doing podcasts. Guess what they're doing their podcasts on? YouTube. All these ex-athletes, prominent athletes, Shannon Sharp, Shay Shay, Club Shay Shay, he got a channel. Then you got Stephen A. Smith from ESPN. He got a channel on YouTube. This is what they're doing. I'm just letting
anyway,
you know.
my friends, I have to go. I say good night, good afternoon, good morning, anywhere you are. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, my good man.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Hope
And
to hear from you tomorrow night.
I'm sorry I talked so long. I apologize.
I want to know where the hell the phone number is on here. I can't find no phone where they can have call-ins. I just can't see it. I can't find it.
Do you already have a channel set up?
Yeah, I got a channel already.
All right, you have to create a phone line. You have to.
How do you do that?
See, that part of it, I don't know. I go to shows, and they have call-in numbers. So here's what you do. Find somebody who has a YouTube channel where they have a call-in number. They'll show you how to do it. Boom, you in.
All right.
It's not directly on YouTube, though. So you can sign up, like, with Skype to get a dedicated number, or Google Voice to get a dedicated number. And then that's when you get the mixer, and then that way you can bring it, all of that stuff in.
There you go.
Mix everything up and add your video, and then that's how they're doing it. So it's not, something that's built into YouTube.
Like Blog Talk.
But you got to figure it out. Lorianne. That's how it works.
Exactly.
You work together, you figure out how it works, and then you get it hooked up. Because you guys can do this. You guys can get together, and you don't have to eliminate Blog Talk. You can just transition into the YouTube sphere. You can transition into that. And then you can bring over all your listeners and then let them know, oh, yeah, we on YouTube. You put in the URL, and then you let them know when you live on YouTube. Then they subscribe, because as soon as you guys do that, like right now, my man, what's your channel? What's your channel on YouTube?
Oh, Gibson Media. I think that's the name of it. Hang on. Let me go to my channel here. Yeah, Gibson Media.
Cody Gibson Media Day?
No, that's not me.
Hold on.
You can look up Joseph Gibson Media.
Yeah.
I think you'll probably find it
on YouTube. on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. What am I putting in the search again?
Hang on, I'll give you my exact name
Sorry,
right now.
Joseph
Hang on,
Gibson.
Gibson Media.
Gibson
hang
Media.
on, Gibson. Yeah, Gibson Media Restoring Our Republic. That's the name of my. That's my channel. Should come right up.
This is on YouTube, right?
Yep, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah, you found it, right, Robert?
Yeah, I found it.
www.youtube.com @Gibson Media 2302. That's my web name.
Gibson Media Restoring Our Republic.
There you go.
Understanding the times in which we live in today, restoring our
you like
republic.
That?
I just subscribed, dude.
Oh, thank you.
I would, but I can't.
Yeah, you know.
Why?
Robert, you stay away. You're banned.
Yeah, I'm banned.
Okay, so with that being said,
and I have actually tried to get on there using different emails and different everything else, and it still doesn't work.
Let me hip you to something. You have 2 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You got to start putting content on there on a regular basis. That's how it shows up in people's algorithms.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll mess with it. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take your advice. I always listen to other people and take their advice and see what they have to say, and I'll try it out. You know, I'm about getting everything out there and information out there. You know.
Now, understand what I'm saying. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just trying to hip you to. I'm just trying to hip you to the game. This is
and I appreciate
get
that.
you in. When you start putting content on a regular basis, this starts popping up on everybody's algorithm that's on YouTube.
All right.
See, when it's only like 1 or 2 things, nobody's going to see that. When they start seeing, when you start popping up content repeatedly, like 3-4 times a week, and it might take you 6 months. It might take 6 months. But guess what? All of a sudden, when people log on to YouTube, all of a sudden, you start popping up in their algorithm. And they'll be like, who is this? And then they click on it, and then all of a sudden, they're listening.
Well, they'll know who I am. I'm not exactly a nobody on the internet.
I didn't mean it that way.
5 a week.
No, I know.
What I'm saying is when you're constantly putting content on, it creates traffic.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you're giving good advice. Yeah, I appreciate it.
And then all of a sudden, people start clicking on just out of curiosity. That's how I found. Man, I belong to I got over 200 subscriptions, and you know how I got them? I'm gonna tell you, from a YouTubee, not a YouTuber. You know how I got them? Because I love watching things about food, and I always pull up food videos, and then food videos start coming in my algorithm, and then I started clicking on different people who are creating food, and then I started subscribing. That's how it worked. For me. That's how it worked for me.
Come on, T.
So, I just wanted to lace y'all with that. I know that we're in overtime. I'm sorry. I feel like I've taken up so much time of you guys' show.
Nah, you're right.
And I feel bad about that. I feel like I just kind of I feel like I over.
It wasn't my show, actually. It was Donnie's show.
Oh, okay. Well, Donnie, my bad. My bad, Donnie. I don't
think he's listening anymore. See, I filled in. See, what I did was they came over to my channel tonight because his show wasn't working, so that's what I meant by that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
All
a
right.
new issue that's plaguing Blog Talk Radio right now. Apparently, Robert's show, Conservative Nation Media, last night had the same problem where the guest lines weren't working, so people couldn't call in to the guest number. And so, but Joe Gibson's is magically working. He's a lucky one. And then tonight, same thing with Donnie C's show. Nobody could call in. And so that we moved our way over here. And so I'm just crossing my fingers and, let's place our bets if I'm going to be one of the lucky ones who hear my show. You're able to call in.
All right. Well, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys letting me talk. And, I know I can be long-winded. I don't mean to be. I'm in the same energy space that you guys are. I want humanity to be better. I want us to do better. I see what's going on. I really appreciate the fact that you guys give me a voice. Lori-Ann, I'm going to be on your show kicking up some dust.
There you go.
You're
welcome to do so.
You already know.
I'm just glad
to
radio meet you tonight, Patrick. So it's been a pleasure, and I hope that you'll tune in tomorrow night as well.
Man,
absolutely.
I'm coming to your show. I'm coming to your show kicking up dust. I don't care what the subject is, because Patrick got styles upon styles upon styles. So it don't matter what you're talking about. You can be talking about the Ayatollah Khomeini in 1979, 1980, or you could be talking about Hitler in 1932, or you could talk about Julius Caesar back in 2,000 years ago, or you could be talking about Nefertiti and King Tut, or you could talk